The motel sign flickers twice and dies, but the red vacancy glow spills across the cracked parking lot like a memory that refuses to stay buried. And you don't remember pulling in, or even driving here, but the engine ticks softly behind you, like an old clock losing the will to keep time. You step out, gravel shifts beneath your shoes that aren't yours, and the air smells like yesterday's rain soaked into motel curtains, cigarette ghosts, and something sweet you almost recall from childhood. Maybe licorice, or your grandmother's pillow. A light in room 09 flickers, not rhythmically, not randomly. It's spelling something. You know that shape. You saw it once in a dream that bled into the morning. You move through fog as if the fog itself is a threshold, a veil brushing gently across your arms like fingers, saying welcome, like memory pressing itself into skin. The front office is locked. Its clock reads 3:33. You already know that time, don't you? You've been collecting it. Every glance at a mirror, every half-waking whisper. Always 3:33. The vending machine by the door buzzes. It spits out a radio, not a snack. A small plastic radio like the one you once buried in the sandbox when you were 7. And when you turn it on, the voice that answers sounds like your mother's, if she was speaking underwater, backwards, far away. Welcome to Whispers Beyond Midnight. It breathes, but not like an intro, not like a narrator, more like a breath across your earlobe, like someone curled beside you under a blanket of forgotten thoughts. Room 09 isn't locked. The knob turns without pressure, and the door swings open on its own like it's been waiting. Not like it wants to show you something, but like it remembers who you are. Inside, dim golden light, floral bedspread, one photograph on the nightstand turned face down. A television glows static, only static, but something inside it is moving. You blink, it stops. You reach to turn the photograph upright, but the static grows louder, a heartbeat now, and the voice inside the TV says your name. Not the name you use now, the name no one has used in years, maybe decades, maybe only in dreams. And you remember nothing, but you remember that. The voice keeps repeating it, softly, over and over, like a lullaby from the other side of something warm and forgetting. The photograph in your hand is wet, but the room is dry. You stare down and see your own face, except younger. Or maybe not you at all. A stranger that looks the way you feel when you wake too fast from a dream about falling. The bathroom light flickers on, though you didn't touch the switch. The mirror's covered with condensation, as if someone has been in there, recently. The towel rack sways. Just slightly, you leave the photograph face down again. The static turns to whispering, multiple voices now, like a chorus of people behind a wall made of rain. And as you stare into the television, it's no longer just white noise. It's roads, endless roads, roads that loop inward, roads with your car on them, you driving, but from above or from memory. The suitcase is already on the bed. It's yours, but also not. You haven't travelled in years, have you? Your fingers rest on the zipper. It's locked. Of course it is. Outside, the wind shifts direction, dragging the motel curtains inward, not outward, and you feel the breath of the building on your neck. From the corner of the room, the radio hisses. Don't forget room 09. The voice again. And just before you turn to leave, the television screen shudders, clears for a moment and shows a timestamp, 3:33 a.m. Then a reflection, not yours. Something is standing behind you. You turn. Nothing. Just the humming buzz of the neon vacancy sign outside. Trying. Failing to hold its glow. You're not asleep, but you're not awake either. You're somewhere in between. And the voice is still whispering your name. Still waiting, still knowing, still here. You're already driving again, though you don't remember leaving the room. The motel fades behind you like a smeared after image in rear view. Its vacancy sign still flickering in the fog, trying to warn you in a language made of half-remembered dreams and motel soap. The road ahead is flat and endless, uncoiling like film through an old projector, frame by frame by frame. But the headlights in the distance never get closer. They stay frozen there, two glowing dots in the fog that don't move, don't waver, don't blink. Like eyes too wide, too still, too certain. The yellow line beneath your tires isn't broken anymore, just one solid stripe stretching forward forever. Like the road has decided it no longer needs ambiguity. The dashboard clock is gone. There's a place for it. Just an empty plastic recess where time used to live. Your hands are on the wheel. You didn't put them there. They're warm. Someone else was holding this wheel just a moment ago and left their warmth behind like a warning. You glance in the rear-view mirror. The fog behind you is glowing, not from the sun, not from headlights, from something else. The kind of glow that happens in dreams, or in basements you're not supposed to enter. You see it again, the snow globe, sitting calmly in the back seat. You don't remember picking it up, but it's there, resting in the center, like a passenger who's been with you all along. Inside the globe, a house. Not just any house. Your house. Except it's smaller, softer around the edges, like a child's drawing of a memory. The lights inside are on. It's snowing, but the flakes are drifting upward, not down. And something moves past one of the tiny windows, too fast to see clearly. You blink, and the headlights ahead twitch, just slightly, like they heard your breath. The radio crackles, no station, just the soft hum of static shifting between words, syllables half-formed. Then a voice slips through, a whisper that doesn't belong to any frequency. Left turn was already taken. You look to your left. Nothing. To your right. Nothing. Just fog. And the yellow line keeps going. You try to roll the window down. It doesn't move, but the air changes anyway. Like someone opened a door inside the car and stepped in, barefoot and quiet. The glove compartment clicks open on its own. Inside, a folded paper map, torn at the edges, stained like old skin. You unfold it slowly. It shows one road, Route 09. There are no towns, no gas stations, just arrows, spiraling inward. At the center, a dot. It's labeled in smudged pencil, where you left her. You close the glove box. It clicks, but the humming stays. The voice again, from the vents now, from the air conditioning that hasn't worked in years. You can't arrive if you never left. You whisper something, a name, or a warning. The fog listens. And then, the headlights ahead vanish. Not off, just gone. Like someone closed their eyes. The yellow line shivers for the first time, flickers like a heartbeat. You touch the mirror, cold. Behind you, a second snow globe. It wasn't there before. Inside this one, The motel room. Room O9. The curtains move inside it. A figure stands at the window, watching you. The road hums louder now, not under your tires, but through them, as if the road itself is singing. A deep, low lullaby in a language made of exhaust fumes and lost names. You slow the car. The yellow line flickers again. A warning? No. An invitation. You know this stretch. You've driven it before. Not once, not twice, again and again and again. It never ends. It never ends. You're still holding the wheel, but the snow globes multiply behind you. 3, 5, 9. Each shows a room, a version of you, staring back, mouths open but silent. All at once, the glove box clicks again. Now there's a cassette, no label, just static etched into the plastic shell. You put it in the player. It hisses, then clicks, then plays a voice. You're getting close. Don't remember. Just arrive. The headlights ahead flash once more. Now they're moving, but not towards you, away, too far to catch. And yet, you follow, because you always do. The yellow line flickers now, regularly, almost breathing, and the fog thickens, soft as feathers, heavy as silence. And you wonder, were you ever really awake, or just dreaming someone else's route? Because nothing is behind you anymore, not even you. You're still following the lights, though they're no longer ahead of you. They drift now, hovering in the peripheral corners of your sight, like flickering memories you're not supposed to acknowledge directly. Every time you try to look, they slide out of view, as though your attention is the very thing that pushes them away. The road has narrowed. You didn't notice when it happened. What used to be 2 lanes is now 1. The shoulder gone, the lines blurring, the asphalt curling slightly, like pages in a forgotten book left too long beneath a leaking ceiling. The map from the glove box is gone. In its place, a napkin, folded neatly. Someone wrote on it in trembling ink. Don't forget to remember her. The handwriting is familiar, not yours. Not quite. It's the way your mother wrote when she was half asleep and leaving notes on the fridge. Grocery lists with dreams tucked between lemons and bread. A sign appears on the roadside. Bent, rusted, white letters against green. Remember. No distance, no arrow. Just the word, like it's enough. Another mile. Another sign. Almost. You don't recall passing any intersections. There's no way to turn around, even if you wanted to. And the car is humming a little louder now, but not from the engine, from something inside the cabin. A low vibrational murmur, like a voice buried in your bones. You pass a 3rd sign. It simply reads, "She's waiting." You close your eyes, just for a moment, not out of sleepiness, but because the fog is getting inside your skin and it feels good to blink and pretend you're not unraveling. When you open them, the steering wheel is gone. In its place, your hands clutch a snow globe. This one shows a street lamp at dusk. You don't recognize the street, but you know the feeling. That curve of twilight light on pavement. The echo of a child's laugh disappearing around a corner. There's motion inside the globe. A shadow walks beneath the street lamp, You tap the glass. The figure stops, turns, raises a hand in greeting or warning, then fades. You glance down. The steering wheel has returned. The road trembles beneath you like a held breath. Far ahead, a traffic signal. Impossible. It stands alone. No intersection, no other roads feeding it, just a single pole rising out of cracked asphalt. The light cycles. Red, yellow, green. Then again, faster this time. Then backwards. Then all colours at once. As you pass beneath it, your headlights flicker. The radio turns itself on. This time, it's not a voice. It's a music box tune. Off kilter. Notes bending like warm wax. And you recognise it. It's the melody from the snow globe in your grandmother's attic. The one you broke. The one she told you not to touch. The one that played even after it shattered. You slow the car, or it slows itself. It's hard to tell anymore. A fork in the road appears up ahead, and for the first time, there's a choice. Left, a dense patch of fog, almost silver, pulsing with distant blue light. Right, a tunnel with no lights, carved into the base of a hill that wasn't there before. You don't remember hills on Route 09. You don't remember Route 09. You blink. The signs reappear. Above the tunnel, your past. Above the fog, her future. You don't turn. You drive forward. Straight. The road splits around you like a river, parting around a stone that refuses to move. The fog and tunnel melt away behind. In your rear view, both paths loop back into the one you're on. You never had a choice. The yellow line is gone now. Only dark asphalt remains, soft beneath your tyres like wet cloth. You feel the car sinking slightly, not into mud, but into time. There are no more signs, only a sound, a rhythmic clicking. It takes you several miles to realise. It's the sound of a turn signal, but you haven't signalled anything. You reach for the stalk on the wheel. It's missing. The clicking continues. You breathe out slowly, and the window fogs, but not from your breath, from something breathing on the other side of the glass. You wipe the condensation away. Outside, just inches from your face, the word home is scrawled in the fog with a fingertip. You stop the car. The engine does not. It keeps purring, soft, steady, as if it's waiting, as if it has nowhere left to take you. The lights flicker across the windshield. This time they're behind you, moving closer, but you don't look. You can't. All roads point inward now, and something in the mirror, something in you, is smiling. You're parked again. You don't remember stopping. The Moon Motel sign flickers above you like it always has. Half-lit crescent moon, buzzing blue. The N barely holding on, as if the idea of moon itself is tired of its own repetition. You step out of the car, and the gravel crunches softly. Not like stone, but like sugar, or bones. Too brittle, too deliberate. The air is warm here, but it smells like old smoke and oranges left to rot inside dreams. The ashtrays on the windowsills are full, still smoking, but no one is here. No cars, no voices, just the hum of a neon crescent flickering above the office door like it's blinking back sleep. The doorknob turns. You don't touch it. The radio inside the office is on. You hear it before you step inside. A thin voice, far away, tangled in static, singing a lullaby that should have been forgotten. You only recognized the last two notes, the ones your grandmother used to hum when the lights went out during thunderstorms. The song, she said, was never written down because it only belonged to people who had already forgotten it. The office is coated in dust that isn't dust. It's softer, thicker, like memory sifted through cloth. On the front counter, a motel registry, open to a blank page, except one name, yours, written 3 times, in 3 different hands. You lift the pen to sign again, but it's already warm, like someone just put it down. The phone on the wall rings once, then once again, then stops. Behind the counter, a drawer. You open it. Inside, a radio, small and boxy. Same model as the one you had in your childhood bedroom, the one you used to hide under your pillow to catch ghost stations after midnight. You remember turning the dial slowly, hoping for voices. And sometimes, you swear you heard your own name whispered just before sleep took you. This one's already tuned. The volume is low. A voice begins speaking. You checked in years ago, but you never left the room. You lift your gaze slowly to the back wall. A corkboard, covered in Polaroids. Every single one is of room 09. Different versions, different colours, different bedding, but always the same angle. The window slightly ajar, curtains fluttering inward, and always a figure, silhouetted, watching, sometimes small, sometimes closer. In one photo, it's sitting. In another, it's standing with its back to the glass. In the last photo, the silhouette is gone, but the camera's reflection is visible. And it's you. You reach for the picture. It's cold. Colder than the air in this room. Colder than memory. Colder than forgetting. You turn, leave the office. The door closes behind you without sound. You're back in the parking lot. The car is gone. The fog is thicker now. Your hands are empty. Except, in your left palm, a motel key. Heavy brass, stamped with the number 09. You look up. Room 09 is lit again. Curtains moving. You walk forward. Each step feels underwater, like the space around you is slowing to watch. The key fits. It always fits. The door opens on its own. Inside, unchanged. Or nearly. The bedspread is the same, but the pattern has shifted. The floral print now resembles clocks. Tiny clocks. All stopped at 3:33. The window is open, not wide, just enough for the curtains to breathe. You sit on the bed. The mattress sighs beneath your weight, like recognition. On the nightstand, a silver ashtray. Inside, a single cigarette, burning slowly, though no one has touched it. Smoke curls upward, then inward, not vanishing, folding. You lift the ashtray. Underneath, a Polaroid. The photo is blank. You shake it instinctively. An image fades in. You, sitting here, holding the ashtray, looking at the photo. And behind you, in the mirror above the dresser, a shadow. Not yours. You turn. The mirror is cracked now. You don't remember that. The crack runs right through the center, splitting your reflection down the middle. Half of you looks older, tired. The other half is smiling. Outside, the neon crescent buzzes louder. The air smells like burnt sugar. Your suitcase is in the corner. You didn't bring it in. It's open. Inside, snow. Just snow. Cold and unmoving. And buried within it, something small and metallic glints under the flakes. You reach in, touch it. It pulses once, like a heartbeat. The radio turns itself on. No static, just breath, just your name. Spoken not to you, but through you. And you remember, you've been here before. And you never left. You never left. You never! The wipers scrape across dry glass, rhythmic and stubborn. A metronome for a dream that won't end. But the rain has long since passed, if it was ever falling at all. You sit behind the wheel again, though the car wasn't where you left it. It's parked in the exact same spot, sure, but you didn't walk here. You were in the room, weren't you? The windshield is smeared with traces of water that aren't real, trailing upward instead of down. Little arcs of reversed gravity catching what's left of the moonlight. The keys are already in the ignition. The engine purrs with a soft, familiar lilt, like it's humming a song only you and it remember. You listen closely. It sounds like tires on gravel, breathing, someone brushing their teeth behind a motel wall. It sounds like 3:33 a.m. You adjust the rear-view mirror. Behind you, the parking lot, still, empty. But for a moment, just a moment, you see the wipers moving back there too, on a second car, identical to yours, then gone. You don't blink, you just drive. The road stretches again like a whispered story you half heard in a fever dream. The wipers refuse to stop, the switch is off. But they keep going. Scrape, pause. Scrape, pause. You turn on the radio, just to cover the noise. Static at first, then something slips through. It's not music, not a voice. It's rain, recorded rain, looped. You know because it repeats every 11 seconds. Same pattern. Same thunder, same moment of silence just before the next crash. A manufactured storm. You lower the volume, not because it's loud, but because something inside it is starting to talk. Not directly, not words, just shapes in the sound. You make a turn you didn't plan. The road narrows. This part isn't on the map. But you don't stop. The yellow lines are gone again. Now the pavement pulses faintly beneath your wheels, like a living thing trying to pretend it's just asphalt. You see signs, bent wooden ones nailed to trees, painted in crude black brushstrokes. No signal. You forgot to forget. The static is hungry. You don't slow down. The trees lean closer now. Their branches hang low, like arms resting on the shoulders of your car, brushing the roof gently with every passing breath. The wipers scrape, still dry, still moving, still wrong. Your fingers twitch against the wheel. Something itches beneath your skin. You flex your hands and feel it. Not pain, not fear, recognition. The road is narrowing too fast now. It's barely wider than the car, edges cracked and crumbling into shadow. And then, a tunnel, moss-covered, mouth-like. You drive into it without choosing to. It swallows the headlights whole. Darkness thickens. Only the wipers remain. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Pause. Inside the tunnel, silence. The radio dies. The engine quiets. But the car moves forward anyway. No walls, no ceiling, just void. Then, a flash, brief, in the windshield, a face, pressed to the glass from outside, eyes closed, smiling, gone. You don't breathe, you don't need to. This isn't air anymore. It's memory. Solid, looping, unrelenting. The tunnel ends without transition. You're back on Route 09. As if nothing happened. The motel behind you. Again. The parking lot empty. Again. The neon crescent blinks. Again. But you never turned around. You drove forward. You swear it. You touch the windshield. Your fingers leave no mark. But there's moisture. Cool. Lingering from the inside. The wipers scrape. Still. You open the glove box. Another cassette. Labelled. Do not listen. You put it in anyway. A voice. Yours. But not now you. You from before. It says, if the rain stops, don't stop with it. If the wipers move, let them. They're listening. Always have been. Then silence. Then a sound you remember from a childhood fever dream. Metal bending underwater. The sound of a swing set turning into a noose. The sound of your name being mispronounced by something that doesn't have a mouth. Outside, the fog thickens, like wool soaked in breath, and the windshield clouds from the inside again. You lean forward. Something is written in the condensation this time. One word. Again. You press your forehead to the glass. You whisper it back. Again. Again. The wipers scrape. You keep driving. Because you always do. Because you never stopped. Because the rain ended. But the story didn't. The key still hangs heavy from your fingers, cool and brass, and breathing like metal left too long beneath a sleeping hand. You stand before the door again. Room 09. You don't knock. You don't need to. The door knows you. And the lock? It isn't real. You twist the knob gently and it opens before you finish the motion, swinging wide on hinges that exhale the same breath the hallway does. Warm and floral, like time gone stale and the smell of someone's memory of sleep. Inside, the same room. But not. The furniture's arranged differently. The bed sits against the wrong wall now, its headboard cast in the soft light of a flickering lamp whose shade is stitched with tiny clocks, hands frozen, none of them pointing to the same hour. The photograph on the nightstand is upright this time. You didn't touch it. It's already waiting. You approach it slowly, as if noise might break the moment. The frame is silver, ornate, cracked. The photo itself shows the room, this exact room, shot from the ceiling somehow, like a camera mounted where no camera could be. You see the bed, the lamp, the carpet stained with the faint outline of something once wet and circular. And there you are, in the photograph, sleeping, or pretending to. It's not a reflection, not a metaphor. It's you, lying where you're standing, with the same creased shirt and dust-smudged shoes, the same ache at the base of your spine, the same twitch in your left eye that comes when you're too deep into the edge of sleep. You turn. The bed is empty. Now. But the pillow's indented, still warm. You sit. The mattress groans softly, the way a voice does when it's just woken from a decade of silence. On the dresser, a stack of film reels, old, brittle, labelled in handwriting that shivers. Each one marked 09, entry 1, 009, entry 2, 009, entry 3. No projector in sight. But you hear the reels begin to turn anyway, a mechanical whir from nowhere, the sound of memory being forced into shape. The room dims, not darker, just more sepia. The walls gain texture, grainy, dreamlike, like a film left soaking too long in solution. A voice cuts in, not yours, not entirely. This is the first time you came back, or maybe the second. The room doesn't count. You turn toward the sound. It's coming from the dresser. The mirror above it doesn't reflect the room. It reflects a different room. Still room 09, but years ago. Maybe forward, maybe behind. A different lamp, no photo. A suitcase where the bed should be. A child's shoe on the floor. You raise your hand. The reflection raises something else. A key, but not the one you're holding. Its tag says 06. You don't remember staying in 06. The radio on the nightstand blinks to life. One green light. A soft whisper cycling through tones. Try again. Try again. Try again. A knock at the door. Soft. Polite. Unreal. You don't move. The knock comes again. 3 times, slower. Then the door opens. But nothing enters. The hallway is empty. You rise, feet cautious, heart slowed. There, taped to the outside of the door, is a photo. Still wet, fresh. You peel it off and hold it in the lamp's flickering glow. It shows room 09, as it looks now. But the bed is filled. Your shape, sleeping again. And in the doorway, a figure, blurred, tall, reaching. You don't recognize it, but your body does. It tenses, trembles, sways forward like it's remembering gravity all over again. You place the photo on the bed. It sticks slightly. The sheet is damp, like breath, like tears, like sleep that didn't finish properly. You glance at the door, still open, still waiting, still whispering. You close it, try to turn the lock. There isn't one. There never was. Only a keyhole. Just decorative. You hear the whisper again, but from inside this time, not the radio. Room 09 doesn't lock. You're never really in or out. The suitcase hums in the corner. You didn't notice it before. It's glowing faintly now, pale blue. The zipper moves by itself, slow, deliberate, unfolding. You don't stop it. You know what's inside. You've always known. A photograph, a snow globe, a mirror, and beneath them all, the same key. But this one reads 09B. You pick it up. It vibrates slightly in your palm. Your hand doesn't feel like yours anymore. The room exhales again. The air is colder now, like absence, like closing your eyes and forgetting how many times you've already done this. You place the key on the dresser. The mirror cracks. Right through your reflection's smile. The radio clicks off. The bed sighs. The door drifts open once more. And the hallway is no longer a hallway. The hallway that isn't a hallway pulses like a lung lined with wallpaper that peels in slow motion, revealing layers of older paper beneath, floral, geometric, wood grain, then flesh-toned. It stretches longer than it should, bending ever so slightly to the left, as if it's trying to spiral, not inward but downward, like a staircase without stairs. You take one step. The floor creaks, though it's carpeted. Soft crimson beneath your feet, speckled with ash and something darker. You don't want to think about what. The door behind you closes with a sigh. Ahead, fog, heavy and waiting. It doesn't spill from the outside. It lives here, inside, as if the building itself breathes fog, the way lungs breathe air. The hallway ends abruptly at an elevator that never existed before. Tarnished bronze doors, no buttons, just a keyhole. You already know which key fits. You still have it. The brass one marked 09. You insert it. The doors open without resistance, like memories returning after a long, stubborn silence. Inside, mirrors. But none show your reflection. They show the room. Room 09. Over and over. Each panel a slightly different version. Some brighter, some empty. One where the bed is on fire. One where the window is just a mouth of teeth. One where the room is submerged in water, with bubbles rising from the radio as it whispers something to itself. The elevator hums. You didn't press anything. There's no panel, only a slow descent. The mirrors begin to frost, from the inside. And in the frost, handprints appear. Not yours. Small ones. Long fingers. Bent. Crawling downward as if dragged by gravity, no longer interested in subtlety. You close your eyes. The hum continues. You hear breathing, but not from you. Not from above. From below. From the fog rising through the seams of the elevator. It smells like motel soap and old pennies. The doors open. You step into fog that wraps around your ankles first, then your knees, rising like bathwater gone sentient, warm with intent, cool with memory. There's no floor, and yet you're standing. There's no light, and yet you see. Ahead, taillights. 2 red orbs glowing in the white, still, hovering. But every time you blink, they're farther away. You walk, not because you want to, because you have to, because something behind you exhales. And you know there are hands in the fog, not grabbing, just following, waiting, tracking the warmth of your fear like bloodhounds without teeth. You glance back. Shapes move, elongated, reaching, always almost touching, but never quite brave enough to close the distance. You feel a tap on your shoulder. You don't turn. You learned that rule long ago. You just keep walking. The red lights blink once, then vanish. The fog thickens. Every sound is muffled, except one, a soft knocking. 3 times, from the trunk, of the car, your car. You don't know how it got here. It's the same as before. Same rust along the fender. Same cracked windshield. Same smell of ashtray and vinyl and old rain. The trunk trembles, just slightly. Knock, knock, knock. Soft, rhythmic. You don't move. You know what's inside. You've never opened it. You always meant to. But something about it. It's not the fear of what's in it. It's the fear that it knows you're near, that it knows your breath. You reach for the latch. The fog grows colder. The knocking stops. The moment your fingers touch the metal, you hear your name. Soft. Close. From inside. A whisper that curls like thread through your ear canal and into your memory. It says, you locked it away. Don't act surprised it waited. You step back. The trunk doesn't open. It opens itself. A slow, aching creak. Inside, a suitcase. You know it. It was in room 09. It was always in room 09. But here, it's cleaner, undisturbed, like it's been waiting longer. You reach in. The fog pours from the lining. Not just into the air, but into your sleeves, your lungs, your eyes. You close the lid, too late. Your fingers are damp with fog, not water, fog. As if touch alone could make it cling. The hands are closer now. No longer behind you. Now beside you. Some small, some larger, some not shaped right. You close your eyes and whisper, this isn't the road. This is before the road. And something answers. A mirror crack. A breath inside your left ear. A hand slipping gently into yours. Fingers cool and damp and unfamiliar. You do not pull away. You don't need to. Because whatever it is, it's always been with you. Since the rain stopped. Since the wipers began. Since room 09. You and it were never separate. Just different ends of the same static. You open your eyes, the fog clears, slightly, enough to see another motel, exactly the same, exactly reversed, like someone mirrored your dream and built it from salt and whispers. You hear the knock again, but this time, it's from inside you. It doesn't matter which way you turn, left, right, back into the fog, forward through the mirror of your own footsteps. The red glow of the exit sign is always just ahead, always hovering near the next threshold, always pulsing, never still, not attached to anything anymore, not above a door or fixed to a wall, just suspended mid-air, like a thought too stubborn to forget itself. You don't walk toward it, you walk past it, and yet somehow it follows. Always in the corner of your eye, always just a step away from becoming the beginning again. The hallway, if it is still a hallway, narrows and stretches like chewing gum in slow motion, walls bowing inward as if they're inhaling. You feel it in your shoulders, your ears, your teeth, every surface compressing slightly, as though the air itself has memory and wants to return to when you were smaller, easier to hold. You stop to breathe. The carpet pulses. A dim sound thrums beneath it, muffled and rhythmic. Thump, 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 thump. It's not a heartbeat. It's the sound of knocking from underneath. You back away, slowly, and the exit sign swings leftward to stay in your periphery. Closer now, brighter. It hums. Not electrically, vocally. This way, always this way. A soft voice that isn't a voice at all, more like breath echoing inside an empty radio shell. You move on, not walking, more like floating through syrup, each movement slowed, distorted, as if filmed underwater on a forgotten VHS tape and left too long in the sun. You reach a stairwell. It descends forever. No banister, no visible end. Just dark velvet air swallowing the steps below, one by one, until you can't tell where you're stepping anymore. You descend anyway. You have to. You've always been descending. The exit sign appears again, glowing just above the next flight, humming louder now. You glance upward. Another exit sign at the top of the stairs. Same glow, same hum. The same pull, no matter which direction. You descend faster. Steps blur. Walls change. Wallpaper shifts pattern every few landings. Floral to checkerboard, to paisley, to nothing but spirals, black on white, spinning gently. Your reflection passes you once, then again, on the wall. Not a mirror, just your shape cast in red by the exit light, following you with the timing of a dream too aware of itself. You pause. A door appears to your left. No handle, just a slit at eye level, like a Motel mail slot. You peer through. Room 09, lit by moonlight, empty, snow drifting inward through a window that isn't open. You blink. The snow stops mid-air, each flake frozen like glass, like breath held between moments. Then they begin to rise, slowly. You step back. The door disappears. The exit sign glows hotter. It flickers, just once. Then again, its letters rearrange, only for a moment. Exit becomes exist. Then back again. You begin to run. Not fast, not desperate, just faster than the memory behind you. The hallway bends. The carpet shifts from red to white to black. You hear the voice again, from every direction. Almost there, almost here, almost you. You burst through a door without opening it. Another room, identical, not numbered, but it feels like 09. The bed untouched, the window fogged, the mirror covered with a sheet. You pull it down, the glass doesn't reflect, it plays, a video of you, driving, eyes fixed ahead, mouth moving, no sound. In the mirror behind you, the exit sign, hanging in the back seat, just glowing, patient, like it's waiting to be asked the right question. You lean closer. In the reflection, your mouth moves again. You lip read the words. There's no outside. The exit sign hums louder. Now inside the room, above the door. You look around. No lights, no lamps, no switches. Only the exit glow, pulsing with your heartbeat or its own. You approach the door, touch the knob. The metal is warm, soft. It gives slightly beneath your grip, like skin. You pull. Another hallway. The same hallway. And just ahead, the exit sign again. Just a little closer now. You look behind you. The door is gone. And the exit? Still there. Always there. A red reminder that no matter how far you wander, the sign will find you. Because the exit is not a way out. It's a companion, a promise, a loop. And now you understand. It doesn't show the end. It shows when you try to leave. And it waits for you to realize. You never actually do. You don't remember entering the car again, but your hands are back on the wheel, and the road is slick with memory. The kind that clings to your tires like mud soaked in lullabies. The engine is already running. Of course it is. It always was. But something is different this time. The seatbelt beside you is fastened. You don't look. You don't need to. You already feel the weight pressing into the passenger seat. The slight shift of balance. The familiar hush of someone breathing beside you who isn't supposed to be here anymore. You glance sideways. Just once. Nothing there, not visibly, but the shape is undeniable. The seat holds an indentation, a presence, and on the floor mat, a pair of gloves, black leather, too small for your hands, too old for anyone new. You touch them. They're warm, not from the car, from being worn. Recently, you reach for the glove compartment. It opens on its own. Inside, a cassette labelled in childlike scrawl, all caps, each letter shaking. Play me when they're back. You look to the seat again. The seat belt is tighter now. The buckle flush against fabric that doesn't bend unless someone's pressing into it. You insert the tape. The car hums. The speakers crackle. And a voice fills the cabin. It's yours, but younger and shaking. I know you're here. I always knew. You sat beside me on every road. I thought you left in the motel, but you never did you? You just waited for me to notice again. The voice falters, then continues. I left the window down so you could get in. I don't remember when. I think it was raining. You liked the rain, didn't you? The windshield fogs, only on the passenger side, faint at first, then thicker, until the entire window is opaque with breath from no one you can see. Then, letters appear, finger traced in reverse. Still here. You don't panic, you just nod, because you understand. They never left. The static begins to rise, not from the radio, from the vents, from the engine, from the suitcase in the back seat, now rattling softly, as if something inside is shifting to make room. You glance in the rear view mirror. There's movement, but not outside the car, inside. In the mirror's reflection, someone is sitting in the passenger seat, perfectly still, perfectly quiet, head tilted gently, like listening. You dare not turn, but you say something anyway, quietly. I missed you. The reflection nods, just once, then fades. The tape keeps playing. Now music. A lullaby played on keys out of tune. The kind you remember hearing from a child's toy you smashed in anger and later buried in the yard out of guilt. The road stretches ahead, striped with puddles that ripple without wind. Your headlights catch them just before you pass over, tiny craters of sleep. The seat beside you shifts. Something is placed in your lap. You don't remember reaching down, but your hand is holding a photograph now. You look. It's a photo of the car, taken from the outside. You behind the wheel, the seat beside you empty. But in the corner of the photo, a shadow, long, slender, pressed against the glass, looking in. The cassette clicks. The voice returns. You didn't leave them. They stayed because you did. You nod. The weight beside you grows heavier. Not oppressive, just real. Like a memory forgiven but not forgotten. The windshield clears. The fog retreats. Only a little. Enough to see the sign ahead. Next exit. You passed it. The passenger laughs. Or maybe it's the wind. Or maybe both. You don't laugh back. You just drive. The yellow lines twist again. Not forward. Not back. But sideways. A new dimension of memory curling around the tires like ribbon on a gift you never meant to open. You speak, not to them, not to yourself, but to the car, to the road, to the space between moments. Where are we going? No answer. But the glove box opens, and inside, a single word scribbled on Motel stationery. Back. You smile, only a little, because that's always been the answer. Passenger or not, you were always returning. The headlights cut through fog like breath through chilled glass, but the road beneath you is softening. No longer asphalt, but something powdered, faintly crystalline, shifting with every curve of the tires. You press onward, but the dashboard begins to fade. First the numbers, then the dials, as if your instruments are tired of pretending they still measure anything real. You blink, and the car is parked again. No sound, no transition. You're simply there. Motel in front of you. Room 09 lit. Again. Always. The door is open. Inside, stillness, not silence. Stillness. Like everything within has paused. Not because of fear or sleep, but because it's waiting for something to catch up. You step inside. The air smells like old linen and something colder. Frost. Not winter. Not chill. Just frost. Familiar and quiet. The room is exactly the same and completely different. The lamp doesn't flicker anymore. It glows blue, soft and glacial, like moonlight folded into cloth. The bedspread remains, patterned with clocks frozen at odd hours. But when you sit down, you hear the faintest crunch. You lift a pillow. Snow spills out. Not dust, not feathers. Snow, clean, crisp, real. It piles silently into your lap, melting at a pace too slow to be natural. Droplets lingering just above your skin before soaking in, like they need your warmth to become something again. You check the other pillow. More snow. Inside the pillowcase, a photo, frozen along its edges. You peel it gently apart from the frost. It shows you as a child, sitting on a curb beneath a street lamp, holding a radio in your lap, eyes closed. And beside you, someone. Just outside the frame, their arm visible, a sleeve you don't recognize, but you remember the feeling of that day, the weight of a hand on your shoulder, a warmth that wasn't sunlight, the sound of static humming lullabies into your skull, filling you with a safety no voice has ever matched. You set the photo down. It doesn't melt the snow. Nothing does. You open the dresser drawer. The Bible is gone. In its place, a snow globe. You lift it. Inside, room 9. Miniature. Accurate. Even now, inside the glass, the bed is made. The lamp glows, and a tiny version of you stands at the window. But something's wrong. You're not facing out. You're facing in, looking at the miniature bed, where something is rising from beneath the covers. You shake the globe. The snow lifts slowly, almost reverently, obscuring the scene, then settles. And now, the tiny you is gone. Just the bed remains, wrinkled, vacant. The mirror over the dresser is gone now. In its place, a window. You step toward it. Outside, snow falling upward, returning to clouds that pulse faintly like bruised lungs. In the glass, your reflection shows something else. Not your face, not your body, but your outline, filled with fog. Your shape flickers, almost like static. You step back. The window becomes mirror again. The globe in your hand begins to warm, faintly, then pulses. You set it down. It keeps glowing. Inside, movement. The snow in the globe rises again, not from shaking, but as if the room within is breathing, exhaling frost, inhaling your memory. The lamp dims. The bedsheets stir. You kneel beside the suitcase in the corner. It's unzipped, but empty, except for a motel key lying inside. Tag reads, "You never checked out." You close the suitcase. It purrs, shut like a creature content. A low chime rings from nowhere. Then again, then again. You look up. The pillows are moving. The snow spills. But now it sounds like whispering, soft, just below the threshold of speech. You lean in, press your ear to the cold fabric. A voice barely audible says, "Let us in. We've been waiting." It's warm in you. You recoil, but gently, because the voice isn't cruel, just lonely. The kind of lonely that clings like frost to motel windows after checkout. You pull the sheets back. The mattress is stitched with names, not embroidered, carved. Hundreds, thousands, some in cursive, some in block letters, some in your own handwriting, all familiar, all unplaceable. You add yours, not with a knife, with a breath, a whisper. The room listens. The snow stills. The lamp brightens slightly, only slightly, as if nodding, as if accepting. You lie back on the bed, not to sleep, just to wait, because snow doesn't fall forever. Eventually it has to melt, even inside pillows, even inside you. There's something wrong with the mirror. You knew it before you woke, before you opened your eyes, before the sound of the radiator whispered its ancient secrets from beneath the motel window, before the taste of static behind your teeth reminded you that this is not morning, not yet, not ever. You're still in room 09. And the mirror, though mounted, no longer mirrors. It's 3:33 again. You didn't check the clock. You didn't need to. The numbers live inside your chest now, tickless, unblinking, forever midway between the beginning and the ending. You sit up slowly. Your breath fogs the air, but not the mirror, not at all. You walk to it barefoot, carpet cool beneath you like old breath. The mirror is still, soft, silent, too silent. You wave your hand in front of it. Nothing. No motion, just glass. No copy of you. Only stillness. You press your fingers to the surface. It resists. A faint pressure, like skin or memory. And behind that glass, there's something. Not you, not even quite someone, but a shape, softer than reflection. You lean closer. The room behind you looks different, reflected in the glass. The bed sits under the opposite wall. The window is boarded. The lamp flickers like a heartbeat. and on the mirror side of the glass, you stand. But your reflection doesn't copy your breath, or blink when you do. It smiles once, then stops. You step back. The mirror remains unchanged, still no reflection. But now, a sound, faint, hushed, ticking, like a watch inside a drawer beneath old clothes and regret. You open the bedside drawer, no Bible, just a wristwatch. Face cracked, hands melted, still ticking, not forward, but sideways. Tick, tick, tick. You hold it. Listen. The sound doesn't come from the watch. It comes from the mirror. The glass shivers once, just slightly, then stills, and then you blink, and your reflection is there, but it's delayed. A beat too slow, one breath behind. You raise your hand, it copies you. Eventually, you smile. It doesn't. You whisper, "Are you me?" It nods, almost immediately, too immediately, then raises a hand to the glass, palm against yours, but reversed, fingers wrong, extra joint, thumb on the wrong side. You step away, the mirror fogs, just a breath, and a message appears, written in curling condensation. You left us here. Come back. You close your eyes. The radio clicks on by itself. A soft static hum, then a voice. Yours. Older. Tired. If you see the mirror smile before you do, don't look away. That's the moment it remembers you were never real. The power flickers. The lamp dims. The snow globe on the dresser shudders gently, a ripple of motion inside. You glance at the mirror again. Now 2 reflections. One sits on the bed, the other stands beside it, both watching you. You don't move, neither do they. Then, the one sitting waves. The other tilts its head, and then, as one, they blink. First, before you do, the air grows colder. Your own breath comes slower, not by choice, but because the room has started to breathe for you. The mirror clouds again. Letters, shaking, jagged. Room 09 reflects no one, only what was left behind. The glass ripples, once, then smooths. The reflections are gone, but their after-image lingers, burned into the corners of your eyes like a flashbulb in an old photograph. You back away. The carpet squishes beneath your feet, wet now, not with water, not with snow, but with something thicker. You don't look down. You never do. You only look forward, to the mirror, to the room, to the time that doesn't move. And the ticking continues, tick, tick, tick. But the hands don't. Not on the watch, not on the mirror, not on you, not anymore. Because time doesn't pass at 3:33. It watches and waits and reflects what it needs to, and what it needs is you. You wake, not from sleep, but from something heavier, something that clung to your skin like an old sheet soaked in radio static. The light in the room hasn't changed, not truly. The lamp glows with that same dull blue hum, casting long shadows that don't match the shape of your body, and the air hums softly with breath that might not be yours. You look toward the nightstand. The clock is there. Of course it is. Digital, plastic, cream-coloured. The kind you'd find in motels that haven't been updated since time gave up trying. It reads 3:33, but the numbers aren't lit. They're cut out, as though time itself has been peeled away, surgically, leaving just absence behind. You lift the clock. It's weightless. No wires, no cord, no battery. You flip it over. A cavity where the mechanism should be. And something else, etched into the hollow. When you stopped counting, we started. You place the clock back on the nightstand. It clicks. Even though it has no parts, no hands, no function, just presence, and ticking, slow, inside your chest, inside the walls. You stand dizzy. The air has thickened. It tastes like medicine and ink. The fog outside the window is pressed against the glass now, watching, waiting, not trying to come in, just reminding you that it's still out there, that it always is. You walk to the mirror again. This time, it shows nothing. No reflection, no message. Just a flat, grey surface like a paused television on a channel that hasn't existed since the last time you remembered your childhood without crying. You whisper your own name. It doesn't echo. The air absorbs it greedily. And then the lamp flickers. Once. Twice. Then buzzes out. Darkness folds over you like a second skin. Only the shape of the clock glows faintly. Not with light, but with intent. You open the drawer again. Not the Bible, not the snow globe. Now, a photograph. A hospital bed. You're in it. Eyes open, but not seeing. Wires trail from your chest. A clock on the wall reads 3:32. A figure stands beside you, head bowed, unfamiliar, but the outline of the hands, you recognize them. They were in the fog. They are in the fog. You touch the photo. It's cold, then warm. The edges curl slightly, as if resisting memory. You flip it over. On the back, you had to stop for us to move. A soft knock at the door, again, 3 times. You open it, nothing there, but something is left on the ground. A wristwatch, not broken, not ticking, just resting. You pick it up. The face is smooth, blank, but still framed by numbers. No hands. You shake it. No change. Until the glass begins to fog from the inside, and a message writes itself on the surface. You never left the room. You look back inside. Room 09 stares at you like a mouth that forgot how to chew. The bed is made again, too neatly. Hospital corners. The pillows replaced. You step inside. Everything is reversed. The dresser on the opposite wall. The lamp now on the floor. The mirror missing. And the clock gone. But the ticking is louder now. Not mechanical. Organic. A pulse. And it's yours. Your hand drifts to your chest. It doesn't beat there. Not anymore. It beats elsewhere. Behind you. In the corner. You turn. There is no one. Just your suitcase. Closed. You kneel beside it. Place the watch inside. The moment it touches the lining, you hear a breath. From the bed, you look. Someone is there. Sleeping. The The shape beneath the blanket is familiar, too familiar. You whisper their name, your name. No response. You sit. Wait. The clock ticks in the dark, and the room begins to fill with the sound of hands. Not clapping, not grasping, just ticking. Hundreds of hands, all invisible, all motionless, yet keeping time in perfect sync. But there are no clocks, not anymore. Just the sense that something was measured and found incomplete, and left here to finish. You lie down on the floor, close your eyes, and hear the ticking follow you inward, like teeth, like snow, like sleep. There's gravel in your mouth, not literal, but the taste of it. Dusty, grey, laced with the sharp edges of forgotten exits. You're no longer in the room, or you are, but it's not room 09 anymore. It's something pretending to be. The lamp's glow is the wrong colour, not warm, not cold, just wrong. And the air smells like photocopied rain. You're standing now, barefoot. The carpet is gone. Beneath your feet, a road, cracked, worn, painted with lines that loop in on themselves, yellow spirals that never straighten. A map unrolled into 3 dimensions. You step forward. The sound is too loud. A single footstep echoes like a scream in a dream. You stop. Silence returns. But it's not empty. It's the kind of silence that waits, that listens, that expects something from you. You look down. At your feet, a page, torn from a map book. One road marked in thick red ink, Route 09. It curls into itself, Mobius-like, returning not to the starting point, but to the last place you felt whole. You don't remember what that is, but your hands do. They shake. You turn the page over, scrawled in the corner, smeared and urgent, unfinished. A sound behind you, turning gravel, soft engine purr. You spin. The car. It's idling, empty, but the driver's door is open, and the passenger seat taken. Again, you approach. Inside, the glove box hangs open, papers scattered, maps, receipts, handwritten notes. All the ink smeared upward, like water ran in reverse. You shuffle the pages. One sticks, a motel receipt, stamped in fading red. Check out denied. Below it, room 09. Guest, redacted. Your name is gone. Scratched out, not erased, violently removed. The radio turns on, no voice, just the hum of an empty line. Then faintly, the sound of tires, slowing, stopping, but not here, somewhere else, somewhere you almost reached. You slide into the driver's seat. The seatbelt latches on its own. No ignition needed. The car moves, softly, like falling, not forward, not back, inward. You pass road signs that flicker as if caught in a storm of memory. Return, regret, repeat. Then a new one you've never seen before. You dreamed the wrong road. You whisper the words aloud. The windshield fogs slightly, responding in kind. A finger traces the glass from the outside. Stay! You press the wipers. They don't move. The fog deepens. You squint ahead. The headlights reveal nothing but more road. Curling now, spiralling like intestines or old phone cords, wrapping around something you can't yet see. You check the rear view mirror. There is no back, only more road, unfolding behind you, identical, but in reverse, and driving both ways. You, 2 headlights behind, 2 ahead, both cars, both you, and you can feel both at once. One is frightened, the other numb. The steering wheel vibrates. Your knuckles go white. The radio sputters, then speaks. You tried to leave by dreaming forward, but you chose the wrong version. There is no forward here, only deeper. You open your mouth to respond, but the road shudders. The entire landscape folds inward, trees vanishing like paper burned from the outside in. The sky buckles, collapsing into a long corridor of motel wallpaper and radio static. You are no longer driving. You are being driven by momentum, by repetition, by the gravity of choices you didn't know you made. Outside, to the right, a sign flickers into view. It's a mirror, tacked to a post, facing the road. It reflects not your car, but a bedroom. Room 09, lamp on, bed empty, curtains breathing. You blink. It's gone. You slam the brakes. The car stops instantly. No inertia, no noise, just silence, thick as sleep. And through the windshield, a road sign, dead center, hand painted, fresh. Turn back, return. You open the door. The fog doesn't greet you. It waits. The air is heavy, not cold, like the moment before thunder or confession. You step onto the road. Beneath your feet, your own name, painted in reverse. You walk over it. You walk forward. You keep walking because you remember now. You didn't just take the wrong road. You dreamed it, built it, and now it dreams you. Every curve, every turn, every motel key, every reflection that didn't blink in time. You dreamed the wrong road, and now it wants you back. It's in the back seat again. The suitcase, where you left it, where you always find it, where it waits like a closed question that refuses to forget the sound of your voice. The upholstery smells like mildew and faded air freshener, but the suitcase smells like rain. Not the clean kind that comes after summer heat, but the soaked through, wall-staining kind that leaks from ceilings and memories and letters you thought you threw away. You stare at it in the mirror for a long time, not touching it, not moving, just letting its shape settle into the folds of your eyes. Eventually, you open the door and step out. The fog doesn't shift. It accepts you, folds around your ankles like sheets tucked in by someone who doesn't love you, but wants you to sleep anyway. The suitcase waits in the back. You open the door. It exhales. Not air. Rain. A breath made of wet sidewalks and flooded ditches and the scent of someone waiting under an awning that no longer exists. You reach forward. Your hand trembles. Not from fear, from recognition. The leather is slick beneath your fingers. Not because it's wet, but because it remembers being wet. You unlatch it. Slow. It doesn't creak. It clicks, soft, pleased. Inside, layers. Old clothes, yes. Ones you haven't worn since your voice cracked for the first time. But beneath that, photographs. All blank, all cold. And buried at the bottom, a ribbon. Soggy, familiar. You pull it out. It still smells like your grandmother's coat. You close your eyes. A memory arrives uninvited. Rain hammering the tin roof of a roadside diner. You, no older than 8, watching her from the back seat, her gloved hand on the door handle, her breath fogging the glass with something she didn't say out loud. She gave you the ribbon, told you to hold it, told you it belonged to the road now. You never asked what she meant. You never saw her again. You place the ribbon in your lap. It leaves a wet imprint on your jeans that doesn't soak in. The suitcase shifts slightly. You didn't touch it, but it adjusts, like something inside rolled over. You lift the clothes. They're dry now, not freshly packed, preserved, pressed. Time frozen. At the bottom, a map, hand-drawn, crude. Circles and loops and too many arrows. In the center, a red dot labeled here, still. No roads, no destinations, just loops. Fractal spirals, like a finger tracing the same dream until it wears a hole in the canvas. The suitcase pulses once, as if breathing. You close it gently. It clicks again. Like gratitude. You lift it. It's heavier now. Weight you recognize. Not physical. Emotional. A burden you forgot you agreed to carry. You return to the driver's seat. Place the suitcase in the passenger side. The belt clicks. It rides with you now. Again. Always. You glance at it. The zipper begins to weep, not tear, weep. A line of moisture forms and slides downward, too slow, too thick. The scent of rain fills the car, not from the air, from you. Your skin exhales it, your breath carries it. The rear view mirror fogs. A word appears, stayed. The glove compartment creaks open. Another ribbon, newer, wrapped around a cassette. You unwrap it slowly, written on the plastic shell. Before you forget, you slide it in. A voice, yours, but soaked, distorted by water and memory. You pack this when you still remembered what leaving meant. You brought the suitcase because you wanted to forget, but you filled it with the things that remember you. The car starts. No keys, just will. The suitcase hums. The rain begins to fall. Inside, from the ceiling of the car, from the vents, from your eyes, but only on the inside. Outside, the world remains dry. Still, frozen, you drive. The road reflects your taillights like a mirror. You follow yourself, or you chase yourself, or both. The ribbon in your lap flutters slightly, though there is no breeze. And the suitcase? It hums again, deeper this time. Like a lullaby passed through generations of radios. And as you drive, you realize you never packed the suitcase. You were packed into it and let out only when it needed something to carry. The knobs are cold, not in a physical sense. You can't feel cold anymore, not in the usual way, but in the way a photograph feels cold when it shows you something you've chosen not to remember. Your fingers rest gently on the dial. You haven't touched it. Not yet. But the radio's already on. It always was. You didn't hear it at first because the car was loud with fog and suitcase breath and rain that doesn't fall, but now the sound is unmistakable. A whisper, not music, not static, not even a voice exactly. It's you breathing from some other time, from some other part of the loop. You press the volume knob. It clicks like a trigger you didn't mean to pull. The radio clears and then begins. A voice, low, deliberate, familiar in the way old dreams feel when you wake with salt on your tongue. You crashed. You know that, right? You don't answer. The fog ahead thickens, responding to the question like a veil being drawn, like a memory standing up inside you with its back turned. It happened just after the curve, the one without the sign. You remember. You weren't speeding, just drifting. You breathe out. The windshield fogs slightly. A word forms, unbidden. Yes, the voice continues. You looked away, just for a moment, toward the mirror. You thought you saw someone in the back seat. You did. You still do. You don't look now, because you know the mirror doesn't lie. It just shows truths, sideways. And then you didn't stop. The road didn't stop. The air didn't stop. But you did. Silence. Not empty. Waiting. Then the voice returns. But not all of you. Part of you stayed. Part of you drove on. That's what this is. That's what I am. You whisper. Who are you? The radio crackles. Answers are heavy, but this one floats. I'm the signal that stayed behind. The breath that left too slow. The voice caught is the cassette you forgot to record. The road ahead shifts, slight incline, barely noticeable, but your stomach drops. You're rising into memory or falling back into it. The radio buzzes with warmth. A new voice joins, soft, high. A child? No, a younger you. Turn it off, the child says. Turn it off, or it'll keep telling you. The knobs won't move. Your fingers don't obey. You let the voice speak. Let it stitch. The road loops because you asked it to. You begged for one more mile, one more minute, one more moment to not arrive. So here it is, again, again, again. The cassette ejects itself, landing softly in your lap. You don't look at it, but you feel the heat, like breath, like shame. You pick it up. The label has changed. It now reads, "Do you want to know?" The glove box opens. Inside, a recorder, already playing. Your voice again, older, weaker. You didn't see the deer. You didn't see the turn. You didn't see her until it was too late. The suitcase rattles in the passenger seat. The belt unbuckles. Not violently, just purposefully. It opens. The ribbon spills onto the seat. And beneath it, a photograph of the crash. Twisted metal. A shattered windshield. A motel key. 09 lying on the pavement. And a smear of rainwater that isn't water. That isn't rain. That's shaped like a handprint. You turn off the recorder, or try. It doesn't stop. Now the voice whispers directly into the speakers. No tape, no frequency, just truth. You died slowly, not all of you at once. Part of you still drives. Part of you still checks in. Part of you waits in the mirror to blink first. The car is no longer on the road. It's parked. You didn't stop. But here you are. Motel ahead. Room 09 lit. Again, you step out. The suitcase stays behind. Its zipper unzipped. Mouth open. Like it's breathing. Like it's tired. The radio still plays, though the keys are in your pocket. Inside, your voice. One last time. It's okay to forget, but something always remembers you. You close the door. The radio fades, but not into silence, into sleep. And the fog, it doesn't follow you this time. It leads toward the room, toward the story, toward the part of you that still believes the crash hasn't happened yet. You're not supposed to stop here, but the pump lights hum like lullabies sung through cracked intercoms. And the air smells like burnt sugar and metal, that strange warmth that only exists at the edges of memory, the kind you never visit on purpose. The sign above the station flickers, missing most of its name, just 3 glowing letters remaining. You. The nozzle's already in your tank. You didn't put it there. You didn't even remember needing gas. But the pump clicks rhythmically, counting out something that feels heavier than fuel. Inside the glass booth, the attendant watches. You can't see their face, just the silhouette, tall, still, slightly bowed, like they're praying or laughing or both. You walk slowly across cracked pavement, avoiding the oil slick that shimmers like a melted sky, shifting between colours you don't know the names for anymore. The door to the booth opens with a creak that feels like it's part of the air, and the bell above it rings a note you remember from a childhood mobile, the kind that turned too fast when the window was open. The inside of the booth is clean, too clean. No register, no cigarettes, no candy, just a counter, a single stool, and a face behind the glass. Your face. Not now you, not mirror you. You 10 years ago, maybe more. Eyes tired in a way that suggests they've already seen this version of you 100 times. You say nothing. The reflection doesn't move. Then, he smiles and slides a receipt across the counter. It's blank. You flip it over. One word written in red crayon. Wait. You glance behind you. The car still idles. The suitcase on the roof now. Zipper fluttering like lips whispering secrets to the wind. You return your gaze. You, younger you, has stood up. Reaching beneath the counter, pulls out a coin. Old, worn. He places it in your hand. You recognize it. One side stamped with a clock frozen at 3:33. The other side blank. You ask nothing, but he answers anyway. You paid in memory last time. This time, you owe in forgetting. He pushes a drawer forward. Inside, keys. Hundreds of them. Every one tagged with a room number, but only one is glowing faintly blue. 09B. You reach for it, but the drawer slams shut. Your reflection, his reflection, tilts its head. A warning, a question, a test. You sit, the stool is cold, wobbly, as if uncertain it's still part of the world. You speak, your voice is the wrong pitch. Was it my fault? He smiles again. But there's sadness behind it now, like he's seen this question enough to forget how to answer it differently. He points at the window. Outside, the gas pump ticks up to 0 hertz, then keeps going. Watters 2050, 433. You watch as the price climbs in reverse. Payment taken not in dollars, but in something more valuable. Time, names, possibility. The attendant, you, younger, you, whispers. The road charges interest when you try to leave too late. You ask another question. You don't remember forming it, but the sound escapes you anyway. Why do I keep coming back? This time, he laughs. Not cruelly, not mockingly, just softly, like someone watching a rerun of their favourite grief. He hands you something. A photograph, taken from above. You behind the wheel, passenger seat empty, until the photo moves, slowly, like a snow globe set in motion, and a shape fades into the seat. A figure. You can't see the face, but the outline is clear. You, or what you left behind. The booth lights flicker. You stand. The air buzzes. The receipt in your pocket curls slightly. You nods once and sits again, returns to his stillness, as if he never moved, as if he's always been here, waiting, counting. You leave, step into fog. The car is already unlocked, door open. The suitcase is inside now, seat-belted, resting, waiting. The radio hums a slow lullaby, one you used to fall asleep to in the back seat, long before roads meant departure. You drive. And as you pull away from the gas station that never had a name, never had a price, never had a clerk, you glance in the rear view and see yourself, still behind the glass, still waiting, still ringing up the cost of remembering, and the pump, still ticking, counting backward through your life, penny by penny, dream by dream. There's no beginning to the road anymore, no signs, no mile markers, no indication you ever left the station, though the fog shifted slightly when you turned the wheel, like it was nodding, agreeing, or warning. The lines on the pavement have softened, no longer sharp yellow, but the colour of old paper, creases where others have driven before you. Maybe where you have. Maybe every version of you, over and over, tyre treads folded into memory. You check the rear view mirror. No station, no booth, just road. Still curving. Always curving. The loop isn't sudden. It doesn't bend like a hairpin. It flows, wider and wider. So slow you don't notice until your own headlights reappear in the mist ahead of you. Two ghostly eyes blinking through layers of time. You slow. Just slightly. The radio stays quiet now. Respectfully. Like it knows this part is sacred. You coast forward, the air pressed with anticipation, and the car in front of you, your car, turns left, following a road that wasn't there before. A parallel thread you follow. Of course you do. The pavement narrows, then changes. No longer asphalt, now carpet, faded motel pattern, blue, beige, a floral twist curling under your tyres. You're not driving, you're checking in. Room 09 waits around the bend, but you don't see the door, only the window, glowing gold, and the curtain, slightly parted, and a figure, silhouetted, watching you arrive, watching you return, The suitcase shifts in the passenger seat, though you didn't touch it. It presses lightly against the door, like it's leaning to see better. You stop the car. Engine idles. Mirror fogs. No words this time. Only your reflection, delayed again. 2 seconds behind. Watching. You reach for the glove compartment. It opens without your help. Inside, a single card, punched at the edges. Hotel loyalty. Stamped. The road doesn't end, it loops. You smile. You've seen this before. You earned it. 10 visits. A free stay. A free crash. A free forgetting. You tear the card in half. It folds itself back together in your hand. Unbroken. You look up. Now the figure in the window waves. One slow motion, left to right. The curtains ripple. No breeze. Only the movement of things long paused, now resuming. You exit the car. The suitcase stays behind. Locked. Silent. You walk. The pavement shifts beneath your steps. Carpet again, then gravel, then tile. Every footfall echoes like memory being filed. The door to room 09 opens before you knock. Of course it does. The light is different, paler, almost blue-white, like an overcast morning that doesn't plan to arrive. The bed is made, mirror intact, snow globe on the dresser, but this one's empty, just snow, no scene. You approach it, shake gently, something forms, your car, alone. Circling a motel endlessly, the road shrinks, bends, curls into itself until it disappears inside the base of the globe, then resets, again and again. You set it down, the room watches, not literally, not with eyes, but with expectation. The drawer is open, no Bible, no receipt, just a single folded napkin. You unfold it, in red ink smeared. This is your third return. You're getting closer. No signature, no date, but the shape of the handwriting. It's yours. Written while crying. You lie on the bed. You don't mean to. You just end up there. Like the road. Like everything else. The ceiling flickers. A fan that isn't there spins soundlessly. The pillow cradles your head as though it remembers the shape. The mirror fogs across the room. You close your eyes. Try to count. 1, 2, 3. A knock at the door. 3 soft taps. You don't get up. You know who it is. It's always you. It's always time. Knocking, checking in, resetting. The knock repeats. Softer now. Not demanding. Just confirming. The doorknob turns. You keep your eyes shut because you remember the next part. The figure walks in, sits in the chair, waits until you speak. And when you do, it's the same words every time. A whisper made of dust and radio hiss. The road doesn't end. A breath, a pause, a truth. It loops. And you both smile, because you already knew. You open your eyes to darkness. Not the absence of light, but a dense, pulsing velvet that presses against your skin, like a hand held gently over your face. The ceiling is gone. The walls are gone. The room has folded inward, or you have. Somewhere near your feet, the flashlight flickers. You didn't bring it, but it's there. Its light isn't outward, not in beams, not in cones. It spills backward, like breath reversing direction. Each flicker pulses not across surfaces, but into you, as if the bulb is scanning memory, one frame at a time. You pick it up. It hums against your palm, a low vibration, like a soft growl beneath the skin of something asleep. You press the button. The light doesn't reveal anything. It reminds things. First, that your hands. They look older, then younger, then unfamiliar. Skin ripples gently, bones beneath adjusting themselves, as though the flashlight has decided to remember you differently. You point it forward. The room doesn't return, but a room emerges, slowly, built from thin lines. Pencil sketch outlines of furniture you once owned, drawn in faint light. The dresser appears, then the mirror, then the door, all in outlines, in motion, like they're waiting for the final pass to become real. You walk. The floor beneath you lights up with every step, faint blue glow, as if illuminating the parts of you still allowed to dream. The flashlight flickers again. This time, it skips. You see a hallway for a breath, then a bedroom, then snow, then a face. Yours? Almost, but with no mouth, just the eyes, watching. You flick the light again. It returns to your hand, steady. You aim it at the suitcase in the corner. It wasn't there before, but now it is. Closed, breathing. The light pulses against the zipper. You step closer. The beam narrows, grows brighter, drills not into the suitcase, but into your chest. You feel it. Deep, something warming inside you, an ember waking. You unzip, inside, another flashlight, identical. You pick it up. Now there are two, one in each hand, and each shows different truths. The right flickers memories you forgot. A blue bicycle with one training wheel, the smell of old bookstores, a name whispered behind you in second grade that you never turned to hear. The left flickers what might come next. A motel room on fire, a figure standing in the fog, a mirror that won't stop whispering, a hand on your shoulder that feels exactly like your own. You blink. Now you're holding neither. The flashlights are gone. The suitcase is closed again. The room returns. Dim lamp, dresser. Curtains still. You're in room 09. Maybe. You approach the mirror. No reflection, but light flickers behind the glass. A pulse. Inward. Your pulse. The mirror's surface glows slightly when you're near. You raise your hand. A line of warmth travels up your arm, like the light crawled from the bulb into your veins. You press your palm to the glass. It gives, slightly. Cool at first, then warm. It flickers. Inside it, a vision. You. Sitting in a car. Flashlight in your lap. Eyes closed, mouth moving, but no sound. Behind you, Route 09. Looping. Endless. But not empty. Cars follow. All you. Each one flickering, each slightly different, one with bandaged hands, one with empty sockets, one with a passenger made entirely of fog. You step back, the vision fades, your hand tingles, still warm. The flashlight rests on the dresser again. You pick it up. This time, the beam points directly at your heart. And there, just beneath your ribs, You see it, a small door, etched in bone, tiny, locked. You shine the light there. It flickers once, and something behind your eyes blinks. Not your eyelids, something deeper. You whisper, "Let me in." The flashlight goes dark, then reignites, but only inward, and you feel yourself begin to open. One dream at a time. The mirror doesn't crack. Cracking would be too clean, too linear, too real. Instead, it unravels, quietly, gently, like peeling wallpaper from memory. You notice it as you drive, the rear view melting at the edges, softening like wax in a slow fire that nobody lit. It starts with a shimmer, not in the glass itself, but behind it, like the road you left has begun to forget itself. You glance back, just a glance, but the reflection has changed. No motel, no trees, no headlights, only water. An endless black sheet of rippling memory, stretching where pavement should be. And rising from the center of that water, a mirror, freestanding, huge. It floats as if anchored in dream logic, its frame rusted, ornate, pulsing with condensation. In the reflection, you, still driving, still gripping the wheel. But the passenger seat is empty now. You don't remember when it emptied. You don't remember pulling back onto the road, or starting the engine. But the suitcase is gone, and your hands are shaking. The radio mutters softly, a voice distant. Don't look back, it will know. The rear view wavers again. Your reflection blurs. The edges smear like breath on glass, as if the past refuses to hold your shape anymore. You reach for the mirror. A fingertip grazes it. Cold. Too cold. And suddenly, it falls. Not in pieces, but in layers. Peels downward like paper soaked in static. Behind it, not the windshield, not sky, not night, but a second version of yourself, floating just beyond the glass, submerged in the black water. Your eyes meet, and it waves. You don't, because it's not a greeting, it's a warning. Its mouth opens, no sound, just a breath of fog spilling through the dashboard vents. Your own breath catches. For a moment, you forget how to exhale. The reflection submerges, disappears, and now the rear view is just water, rippling, without end. You blink, tears slip sideways. The road ahead begins to blur. You try the wipers. They move, but not on the windshield, on the mirror, wiping water that isn't there. Scrape, pause, scrape. The motion is inside your chest now. You speak to nothing, to yourself, to whatever watches. Where am I going? A whisper replies, from the glove compartment, from your lungs, from the place where memory curls to sleep, where you already were. You blink again. The car slows, not because you touch the brakes, but because time folds. Out the side window, a version of room 09, tilted, broken, inverted like a snow globe cracked open beneath a frozen lake. You drive past it, or through it. You can't tell. The rear view is bleeding, dripping down the dashboard, black rivulets of reflective liquid pooling at your feet. You don't panic. There's nothing to panic against, only understanding, only loops, only a photograph on the passenger seat. You don't remember its being there. You pick it up, it shows the car. From behind, driving away, in the rear window, your face, pressed to the glass, eyes wide, mouth open, not screaming, not asking, just watching, waiting. You flip the photo over. One word. Still. You glance back up. The mirror is gone. Only a shadow where it used to hang. But the sense of it remains. Heavy, present, like breath held too long. You reach up instinctively, touching empty air, and something touches back. Fingertips, damp, cool. You close your eyes, whisper, "I remember you." And the car responds. With stillness, with fog thickening, with the radio crackling out a lullaby you don't recognize, until it reaches the third note. The one she hummed, the one the mirror whispered once, the one your memory recorded but never named. You open your eyes. The road has looped, back to a place almost the same, but not. The motel is ahead. Again, the light in room 09 flickers. Again, but the parking lot, flooded, shimmering, like someone poured the past into its concrete veins. You drive forward. No rear view now, no history, only what you carry, only what watches from the water behind you. And from here on, you never look back. Not because you won't, because you can't. The welcome sign greets you before the curve, just after the stretch of road that feels like it's already happened. It stands crooked, bolted to a post swallowed halfway by the earth, letters worn down to ghosts. You read it anyway, you always do. Welcome back to Route 09. No exclamation mark, just resignation. Like the sign knows you've returned too many times to pretend it's still an invitation. You slow the car. You always slow here, not because you mean to, because the road requires it. A ritual, a gesture of surrender. Fog presses low along the asphalt, coiling in slow circles that don't rise, just drift outward like breath from something lying just beneath the surface. The road signs are older now, not just weathered, tired. One leans so far left it's more of a whisper than a marker. You left her here. You pass it. You always pass it. The car hums contentedly, engine purring with a kind of knowing. It's as if the machine itself remembers better than you do, carrying the weight of your loops with quiet loyalty. To your right, a field, brown, desolate. But as you drive by, the field shifts, becomes a parking lot, then a diner, then a gas station, all flickering through each other like frames of an unfinished film, jittering, overlapping, resolving into nothing. The radio turns on. No hands touch it. No volume to adjust. Just a single voice. Worn and close. You always return here, around now. You don't answer. The glove compartment clicks open. Inside, the same napkin. Still damp. Still folded. You unfold it with steady fingers. The ink hasn't bled this time. It reads, "You're not early. You're not late. You're just again." You set it on the dashboard. It flutters once as if nodding. Outside, a motel, but not the Moon Motel. This one is smaller, crumbling. Its sign reads rooms, nightly, vacancy, but the bulbs spell something else. From the curve of the C, the tilt of the Y, you see the word hiding beneath, recall. The driveway appears too late to turn in, but the car turns anyway. You park in front of room 09. Again. The curtains are drawn. A soft light leaks from beneath the door, golden and patient. You don't get out yet. The steering wheel is warm, warmer than before, from use, from history, from hands that are and are not yours. You glance to the passenger seat. Empty, no suitcase, no photograph, just an indentation, like someone sat there for a long time, long enough to change the fabric, then left without a sound. You lean back, breathe. The air smells of dust and distant rain. Not memory this time. Recognition. You exit the car. Feet crunch gravel that wasn't there a moment ago. The motel's neon buzzes softly above you. The 09 on the door pulses gently. You reach for the knob, but the door opens before you touch it. The room is older. The wallpaper faded. The bedsheet patterned with roads instead of flowers. Each line on the fabric curls into itself. A maze. A loop. A map. On the nightstand, the clock. Of course. Still 3:33. But this time, there are hands, spinning, fast, out of control, forward, then backward, then stopping. You sit on the bed. It exhales, softly. From the corner, a suitcase, open, empty. But inside the lid, etched in pen, you left to return. You lie back, let the mattress hold you. The ceiling above is cracked. A single leak begins to drip, upward. A droplet rising slowly from your chest, floating toward the plaster like a tear reversed. The radio in the drawer turns on. This time, it's not your voice. It's hers, soft, laced with sleep. You missed the turn again, but the road brought you back. You smile, because of course it did. It always does. That's the purpose of Route 09. Not to deliver, not to depart, but to return. Over, and over, and over. You close your eyes, and for the first time, you do not dream of crashing. You dream of driving. Straight, calm, eternal. The loop wraps gently around you, like a story told too many times to end badly. You wake to the hum of idling. Low, constant, warm. The engine purrs gently beneath you, like a lullaby still playing on loop, never quite fading into silence, never quite loud enough to drown out your own thoughts. Your hands are on the wheel, your eyes are dry, and the windshield, covered, not with frost, not with condensation, but with notes, hundreds of them, written in every direction, pressed against the glass from inside. Some handwritten, some typed, some etched directly into the surface, tiny claw marks forming loops, lines, slants. You don't remember writing them, but they are yours. You know by the way your chest tightens when you read the first one. You slept too long. You try to start the car, but it's already running. It never stopped. You turn the key anyway, and the ignition clicks uselessly, like a child pretending to drive in a toy car long after the wheels have come off. The radio is on, but silent. The cassette tray blinks. Insert memory. You reach to the passenger seat. Nothing there. Then the glove compartment clicks. Inside, a photograph. You. Parked in front of room 09. Hands on the wheel. Eyes closed. Mouth slightly open. The light in the window behind you. On. You flip the photo over. It's okay. This is the part where you forget again. You slide the photo into the cassette slot. It accepts it. Hums. Whirs. Then, your voice. Tired. Flat. Dream heavy. You kept the engine running because you were afraid the motel would take too much if you turned it off. And it did. You look out the side window. The sky is wrong. Grey, not from weather, but from the weight of time folding over itself. A tree drips upward. The grass flickers. Your headlights reflect nothing now, just curve into the fog and disappear. The notes on the windshield begin to smear. Ink runs in slow rivulets. One note peels from the glass, lands in your lap. You read it. You almost cry. But don't. She was with you once. You remember the lullaby. You promise not to leave her there. You whisper her name. The fog thickens. The radio responds. A new voice. Soft. Familiar. Your mother's. No. Older. More distant. You left the suitcase behind when you got tired of carrying it. You left the name inside it. You left her inside it. The dashboard lights flicker. The gas gauge spins in place. Empty, full, empty, full. It doesn't matter anymore. The road will continue, even if you don't. The engine shudders once, then calms, purring like sleep. You check the rear view. It's returned, whole, but reflects a different car, different version of you. Eyes open, mouth moving, saying nothing. You close your eyes, feel your own breath, realize the air is too still, as if the car is sealed from time. You press your hand to the windshield. The ink absorbs into your palm. Letters crawl up your arm, disappearing into skin. Memory reabsorbed. You open the door. Fog enters gently. Polite. Cool. You step out. The pavement is wet with sleep. You kneel. Write your name in the dust. It doesn't stay. The letters drift upward, catch wind, then vanish. The motel is behind you again. Door open, curtains drawn. The smell of rain and something older. The warmth of lullabies hummed through static. You don't return. You don't drive. You sit on the hood, watch the fog pulse, and wait until something inside you decides it's time to start over. You're moving again, but the road no longer hums beneath the wheels. There's no vibration, no friction, no resistance, just the faint whisper of motion, like air shifting in a sealed room, like breath suspended just before sleep. The tires aren't touching. You know this without needing to look, but you look anyway. You lean, just slightly, out the window, fog parts like a curtain, reluctant, folding inward, and there, where the wheels should meet asphalt, there is nothing. Not road, not shadow, not reflection, just space. And below that, something soft. Grass, tall, unbending, stretching up like hands trying to hold what gravity has forgotten. You pull your head back inside. The window rolls itself up behind you. The air in the car changes. No colder, no warmer, just aware. Like the space inside the vehicle has noticed you again. The rear view mirror turns itself toward you. No reflection, only words scrawled in reverse. No contact. The glove compartment opens. Inside, a single index card. Yellowed, stamped with the seal of a motel you've never stayed in, but remember anyway. The drift phase. Do not exit vehicle. Vehicle. A signature. Familiar. Your own. Written backwards. You drive on. Except there's no driving. The wheel doesn't resist. The pedals are soft, like pressing on pillows. The engine's sound is gone, replaced by a distant whirring, like film reels, like memories unspooling. You reach for the radio. It's already on. A voice crackles through, tired and slow. The road lifted itself for you. That's what happens when you forget what wait means. You nod, not because you understand, because you accept. Outside the window, the scenery shifts. Not trees, not buildings, just shapes. Clouds shaped like doors, mailboxes shaped like hands. You pass a sign. It reads, "Consequence ends here." Another follows. But echoes continue. You reach for the rear view again. This time the glass is liquid. Not water. Not mercury. Memory. Your own face surfaces briefly, then sinks. Behind it, a figure. Blurry. Reaching forward as if trapped beneath the surface. You look away. The windshield fogs, but not from breath, from intention. A single circle clears in the mist. Through it, the sky, and in the sky, words formed by the shape of clouds. You never left the ground. The car rises higher, or perhaps the ground lowers. Perspective slides off like water from wax. The suitcase rattles once in the back seat, just enough to remind you it still carries everything, still keeps the name, still holds the photograph with the edges worn smooth from too much remembering. The radio changes stations. No knob turns, no hand moves. A different voice, younger, yours, but not as you remember, as you once feared. It started when you stopped needing gravity. It continued because you never reached her. It loops because you forgot to descend. You close your eyes. Feel the car float. Feel your thoughts float. The seatbelt pulses like a heartbeat. You open your eyes. Below you now, a field, wide, motionless, lined with motel doors. Each marked 09. Each facing a different direction. Each one open just slightly, as if waiting for someone too hesitant to knock. The car drifts, slows, begins to circle. The wheel turns itself. You recognize this rhythm. It's the same loop from childhood, when you rode your bike around the cul-de-sac again and again, just to delay the end of the day. just to postpone the quiet, just to feel control. The windows begin to fog again, this time with symbols, clock hands drawn in breath. All stopped at 3:33. You whisper, "I want down," and the radio replies, "You will." But only when it's ready. The wheels begin to spin faster now, but still, no contact, no friction, only the endless hum of motion denied its anchor. And you, floating, held not by tires, not by speed, not by maps, but by memory, and the weight you no longer carry. You open the door and the floor welcomes you before anything else does. Not the walls, not the air, not the light seeping through cracked blinds, just the carpet. Patterned in that particular way memory chooses to survive, inconsistently, yet persistently. Blue swirls and beige ovals, they twist like fingerprints, or crop circles, or old bruises. You don't remember which motel this is. Only that you've walked these halls barefoot before, feeling the static rise through your soles, like whispering. The carpet hums. It sings in soft frequencies, too quiet for the conscious mind. But your body listens, and it remembers. Step. Pattern repeats. Step. Pattern shifts. Barely, subtly, as if someone is editing the hallway in real time, moving textures across your path like clues in a maze that only responds when you're not looking. You pass room 07. The door is open. Inside, darkness. A smell you once associated with summer and accident. You keep walking. Room 08, closed, but the handle breathes gently. Up ahead, room 09. Of course, but not yet. The hallway bends, slightly left, just enough to stretch distance into meaning. It didn't do that last time. Or maybe it always has. Framed photographs hang along the walls. You glance at them, then wish you hadn't. Because they're not of people. Not exactly. There are versions. You behind glass. You underwater. You asleep in cars with open eyes. Each frame hums when you pass. One buzzes louder. You stop. It shows you. Sitting on the floor of this hallway. Same clothes. Same posture. But no mouth. A note is tucked into the corner of the frame, pressed under the glass. You checked in again. Try not to remember it this time. You walk faster. The carpet shifts colour beneath your steps, from blue to red, from red to black. At first you think it's lighting, then you realise it's responding to you, like a trail, like a pulse. Room 09 appears. The number is upside down, the door slightly ajar, the light within flickers. But this time, from the floor. A lamp tipped over, casting shadows upward, like vines climbing walls that aren't walls anymore. You pause. The carpet beneath your feet begins to ripple. Like water, you lift one foot. It splashes. No wetness. Just sound. Just suggestion. You step forward anyway. Into the room. The carpet continues, identical inside, but now covered with tiny footprints. Bare. Damp. As though someone walked this path just before you, without shoes, with hesitation in every step. The footprints lead to the window, curtains drawn. Breathing softly, you follow. There's a chair beside the sill, facing the wall, not the view. You expect someone to be sitting in it, but it's empty. On the seat, a photograph album, Motel branded, Plastic cover warped with time. You open it. Inside, photos of every hallway you've ever walked through. All empty, all silent, all carpeted in this pattern, each captioned, "Still here." You flip faster. Your own face appears, staring at photos of hallways, looking for exits, finding none. You close the book, set it down. The chair sighs. You step backward. The carpet beneath you returns to blue. The footprints vanish. You reach for the nightstand. No drawer, no lamp, just a note, scratched into the wood. We leave pieces in the threads. That's how they find us again. The light above you flickers once, then settles. Soft hum, familiar. You lie down on the bed. The fabric echoes the carpet's pattern. Loops on loops, swirls within swirls. You close your eyes, and beneath your back, the pattern shifts again. Aligns perfectly with the shape of your spine. Like a key returning to the lock it didn't know it left. The room breathes, and the carpet hums a lullaby. Just for you. It starts slowly, just a glint on the window, a movement that doesn't make sense at first. You tilt your head, watching. A bead of water forms at the bottom of the glass, and rises. You lean closer. Another drop slips upward, climbing the pane with the hesitation of memory. Then another, then hundreds, drifting in reverse, refracting the golden glow of the bedside lamp into ribbons of soft, shimmering distortion. Outside, rain ascends like dreams retreating into clouds. Tiny explosions of soundless reversal. Each drop is gentle, too gentle, like apologies long after the fact. You press your hand to the window. It's warm and pulsing, not from heat, but from contact, like the glass recognizes you or remembers your shape from other nights you forgot you repeated. The sky beyond is wrong, a dull lavender bleeding into grey, clouds shaped like motel keys and flashbulbs and open hands. You blink, and one cloud sharpens into a face. Yours. Or close. Upside down. Mouth slightly open. Whispering something you can't hear. You pull back from the glass. Turn. The room is dim again. But wet. Not soaked. Glossed. Every surface coated with a thin sheen of upward rain. It doesn't drip. It rises, slowly, tenderly, as if the room is weeping back into the storm it never escaped. You step barefoot onto the carpet. It shimmers under your weight, puddling up in soft tremors, then lifting, raindrops peeling from the soles of your feet to float toward the ceiling. The radio on the nightstand turns on, but the static doesn't hum. It pours. Not down from the speaker, but up, like mist, like smoke, like breath remembering how to rise. You hear voices inside it, some you know, some you've forgotten. One says, "It's raining where we left you." Another, "The clouds didn't break, you did." You move to the mirror, it's vertical again, intact, fogged but from the inside. You wipe it, your hand comes away dry. The mirror clears. Behind the glass, a window, but not yours. Not this room. Another. Room 009. Again, but reflected through water. Waves ripple across the floor, and in the bed lies someone sleeping. Curled. Familiar. You knock softly on the mirror. The reflection stirs, but doesn't wake. Then, you see it. Rain falling inside the mirror. Upward, faster now, filling the room like reversed drowning. You step back, the lamp flickers, its glow lifts from the bulb, separates, and floats toward the ceiling. You speak, a name, maybe, your own. The voice doesn't echo. Instead, it pools in the corners of the room, collects into droplets, and begins to rise. You follow. You lift your arms. The air resists, but gently, like a slow tide pulling you home. A drop clings to your eyelashes, then another to your collarbone. You close your eyes. Feel them lifting. Feel yourself lifting. The bed behind you sighs. The rain thickens. Upward, always upward, until the whole room becomes a storm in reverse, a story unread backwards, a tape rewound just before the scream. The suitcase in the corner hums. Its zipper unzips by itself. Inside, a sky. Clouds churn gently inside the lining, releasing soft sheets of rain that rise through the open flap. You reach in, feel nothing, but your fingertips come back wet. The radio changes channels, soft music now, distorted piano, played underwater. A lullaby for people who never arrived. A pause, then a whisper, tender, breathless. You were never meant to stay dry. The window pulses again. One last drop presses against the glass, then lifts, and everything stops. The room stills. No sound, no motion, just aftermath. Just the sense of something having left. You sit on the bed and watch as the moisture climbs from your arms, your hands, your clothes, floats gently upward into the ceiling, disappearing, leaving you just slightly lighter, just enough. The mirror fogs again, and in it, not a reflection, a door, opening, a hallway full of upward rain, and footprints on the ceiling, walking away. You're holding a ring of motel keys now. Dozens, maybe hundreds, each one heavy, worn, whispering its own version of Room 09. Brass, plastic, steel, bone. Some old enough to remember before locks had numbers. Others new enough that their surfaces still carry the ghost of barcode stickers. You don't remember picking them up, but you've been carrying them for a while. You know this because your hand is sore. You know this because they hum when you hold them still. The hallway unfolds ahead of you. Familiar carpets, familiar curve. But the doors, they all say 09. Each one, each identical, each slightly wrong. One has a handle shaped like a teardrop. One with a keyhole the size of a thumbnail. One with no handle at all. Just a mirror, flush against the wood, showing a corridor behind you that doesn't match where you've just come from. You approach the first. Insert a key. It clicks. Opens. Inside. Fog. Not just air, but meaningless fog. The kind that carries no scent, no shape, no memory. Just blankness. You close the door. Try another. Second door. Same number. Key turns, room opens. Inside, a room filled with ticking. Hundreds of clocks, all out of sync, all stopped at 3:33 but ticking anyway, each with a different beat. You back away. Third door. Opens without resistance. Inside, a bed made with military precision and a cassette recorder in the center. You press play. Your voice. You chose this room last time. It didn't hold. Close the door. Keep walking. The hallway stretches. Room 09 again and again and again. The key ring rattles like coins in a deep well. You don't know which one came first. You stop at the 5th door. Try a key. Doesn't fit. Try another. It slides in. Unlocks. Inside. A room with no ceiling. Just sky. A grey void raining upward. Droplets rising in slow motion through the mattress, the furniture, your breath. A note on the pillow reads, "You remembered this one wrong." You turn back. Try another door. This one resists. You push harder. It groans, opens, reveals a mirror, wall to wall, ceiling to floor. You step inside. You're already there, already seated on the bed, already holding the keys, already smiling. Not cruel, just patient. You leave quickly, back to the hallway, drop the key, pick up another room 09, another version. Some doors are locked, some melt into the wall before you reach them, others open too easily. One leads to a room with no floor, only fog. You almost step inside. You don't. Eventually, you reach a door that looks exactly right. You pause, feel the weight of the keys. Choose one at random. It turns, and the door opens. Inside, room 09. Still, warm, just the way you remember. You hesitate. You want to ask, why this one? But there is no one here to answer. The bed is turned down. The clock reads 3:33. The suitcase sits open. Inside, a velvet-lined box. Empty. A card beside it reads, "This is the one that fits." You sit. The mattress sighs. The light from the lamp is soft, golden. Everything in this version is familiar, but it's not the same. Nothing ever is. Because room 09 is not a place. It's a pattern, a loop with decor, an echo with plumbing. You reach for the radio, no knob, just a button marked repeat. You press it. A voice, barely audible. You'll pick a different key next time. You lie back, hold the ring of keys to your chest. One slips from the loop, falls to the floor. It spins, then stills. You close your eyes. Room 09 fades. Not into darkness, but into softness, like keys being pressed into your palm by hands that remember. Hands that you once trusted. You drift. And in the distance, all the doors click, in unison, reset, ready. The fog thickens into shape. Not quite mist, not quite memory, something denser, like silk dipped in gravity. You move through it slowly, the car responding with obedience it shouldn't possess anymore, as though it knows this stretch of Route 09 too well to resist. Up ahead, the road straightens. It always does here. A long, quiet breath of asphalt, hemmed in by trees you've never seen clearly. Their outlines shift, sometimes branches, sometimes arms, sometimes antennae. They listen. The headlights blink, not flicker. Blink. Once. Twice. Then a long, slow pulse. You don't touch the switch. You don't need to, because they're speaking in Morse code. Dots and dashes made of light, flickering through time's breath. You translate without knowing how. Your name, over and over. Then, not yet. You slow the car. The engine stutters, hesitates, then continues. Somewhere between you and the pavement, the moment is coiling, waiting, like breath held too long, like an animal that hasn't yet lunged. You pass a sign, black wood, white paint, still wet. The crash still hasn't happened. You whisper, I know. The radio comes to life without a click. Static first, then rhythm, then a heartbeat you remember from the inside, then your voice. They say you hit the tree around here. They say the road folded. They say you blinked and she was all gone. You don't cry. There are no tears left in this place. Only condensation, only fog, only breath where breath shouldn't be. The glove compartment clicks. Inside, a rear view mirror, detached, cracked. You lift it gently. Your face stares back. Not now, you. The moment before you. Before you. Eyes wide. Mouth open. A scream not yet begun. In the reflection, taillights ahead. Floating. Moving. Without a car. You follow them. The road narrows. Splits. You choose the left. Always the left. Even though the right smells like her perfume. The left is silence. The right is memory. You keep driving. The trees lean closer. The windshield fogs. From the inside, a sentence appears. You haven't hit yet. The engine grows quieter. As if bracing. As if trying to be gentle. You grip the wheel, fingers tense. There's a bend ahead. You recognize it. That curve. The one they told you about in the hospital. When they said you were lucky. But you weren't. Not then. Not since. You never saw her again. Only photographs. Only fog. Only silence in the seat beside you. You approach the curve. But this time, it isn't there. The road stretches forward, flat and unbroken. And yet, you still feel the impact coming. Still feel your body clench around nothing. Still feel her voice say, watch the mirror, not the road. You glance up and see her for the first time. Not a shadow, not a whisper. Her face, soft, sleeping, in the rear view behind you. And beside her, you, eyes closed, hands open, car still. The engine hums. The crash still hasn't happened, but it could, at any moment, any choice, any breath. The suitcase rattles in the back seat. You look back, it's open, and inside, a bundle of photographs, soaked with something darker than rain. Each one taken from inside the moment you almost died. Each one stamped with a time that doesn't move. Each one whispering, this is the last moment you can choose. You turn forward, The road splits again. Left, the crash. Right, the loop. But now, there's a third option. Straight. A road you've never seen before. You don't decide. The car does. And the lights blink once more. You're still here. You breathe in and wait for the moment that never arrives. For the impact you've rehearsed so many times, it no longer belongs to your body. For the story to break. But it doesn't, because the crash still hasn't happened. And maybe this time, it won't. You step into the motel lobby again, and it's already breathing. The air smells like familiarity gone stale. Old receipts, wood polish, static clinging to velvet curtains. The same bell above the door doesn't ring this time, but you feel its echo in your bones, like it chimed inside your chest instead of overhead. The receptionist looks up from the desk and smiles, not out of politeness, not because you're a guest, because they know you. And they've been waiting. Their face is half shadow, half lamp glow, aged not by time, but by repetition, by loops folded inward. The eyes are familiar, not the colour, not the shape, the way they look through you, gently, as though your outline was drawn by someone they loved. They don't ask your name, they don't need to. They lift a receipt from the counter and place it in front of you with the grace of ritual. You glance down. It's already signed in your handwriting. Same name, same date, same hour. Every line matching the last one you saw, except the paper is warm and pulsing as if it were printed on skin. You pick it up. On the back, written faintly in pencil. You tipped too little last time. You smile, barely, because it's true. You turn the paper over again, and there, beneath the room number, still 09, someone has written. Third stay, second crash, first awakening. The receptionist places something else on the counter. A cup of coffee. It steams slightly, smells of rain and memory. You lift it, take a sip. It tastes like a voice you haven't heard in years. She once called you darling when you cried in the back seat and promised the road would take you somewhere warm. You set the cup down, try to speak, but they raise a hand and shake their head. Not yet, the gesture says. Not this visit, not this loop. You reach into your pocket, find a key. Room 09, of course. But this one looks newer, shinier. The brass untarnished, the tag still laminated. You wonder if it means something. If freshness is a kind of warning, or mercy. You ask softly, have I stayed here before? They nod, once, then again. Each nod slower, more rhythmic, until it feels like a lullaby in motion. The phone on the wall rings. Once, then clicks off, like a line remembering it's been severed. You glance at the guest book on the counter. It's open. Your name appears. Dozens of times. In different pens. Different dates. But the same time beside each entry. 3:33 a.m. The same question etched beside every signature. Did you leave the mirror open? The receptionist hands you a mint, wrapped in wax paper, stamped with a symbol that looks like a closed door and an eye watching it. You don't unwrap it, you just place it in your pocket. The receipt folds itself and slips between your fingers, like it knows the way. You turn. The hallway stretches longer than before. The carpet has changed again. Pale green with interlocking roads shaped like veins. You look back one more time. The receptionist hasn't moved. Still watching, still knowing, still smiling. And now, just before the door closes behind you, you hear it. A whisper. Their voice. Yours. Both. They remember you back. You blink, and you're at the door to room 09 again. This time, you knock. 3 soft taps. The door doesn't open. Not immediately. It waits, as if listening, as if asking, which version of you is knocking this time? The handle turns. The light inside is gold. Not warm, not cold, just real. And when you step inside, the curtains are already open, the bed already turned down, the suitcase already unzipped, and on the pillow, a note, folded, your handwriting. Don't forget, someone always stays behind to remember. You lie down without thinking, because this version of the room remembers you, because someone signed for it in advance, and the story isn't over, but it's beginning to listen. You exhale, the glass fogs, but not outward, inward, as if your breath has reversed, as if your lungs are mirrors and every sigh peels back a layer of who you used to be. The room is quiet, more than quiet. It's paused, held in the moment between inhale and release, between flicker and fade. You sit on the edge of the bed, feel the mattress pulse. Once, then still. You glance at the window. Outside, motionless fog. It's no longer drifting or curling or dancing. It's listening. You draw a slow breath, and your chest rises heavier than it should, like the air isn't coming from outside your body, but from somewhere deeper, like the breath you're taking has already been breathed before. The mirror fogs. Again. You didn't approach it, didn't touch it, but it responds to you now, your presence alone enough to draw condensation. You move toward it, and something moves with you, not behind, not beside, inside. You place your hand on the glass. It's warm, too warm, as if someone just removed their hand from the other side. In the steam, letters form, not written, condensed into being. One word, inside. You whisper, who? But the mirror doesn't answer. The mirror breathes back, a rhythm that matches your own. The suitcase on the floor unzips further, the flap twitching open like a mouth too polite to speak. You kneel. Inside, a small figure. Miniature. Porcelain. No, too soft. It looks like you, curled in fetal position, mouth open, eyes closed, breathing, inward. A mist rises from its lips. You pick it up, light, but not hollow. Its chest pulses once in your hand, and you feel the breath inside it moving through you. The mirror clears, shows your face, but distorted, stretched by fog, rewritten by breath. You're older, wider eyes, lines you don't own yet carved along your cheek. A voice hums from the radio, low, familiar, woven into static like threads across the same fraying sweater. You forgot to let yourself out. That's why the air clings. You speak aloud. How do I return? The figure in your hand exhales sharply. A puff of cold air spills across your fingers. You shiver. The window begins to weep, droplets forming on the inside, travelling upward in slow spirals. They trail words along the glass. Exhale the loop. Inhale the end. You do as you're told. A deep breath in, and for the first time, the air tastes different. Like rooms you never entered. Like conversations paused halfway through apology. You exhale, and something leaves you. A shape, a thread, a version. It drifts towards the mirror, touches the glass, disappears through. The reflection nods. Your reflection. Still breathing, still fogging inward, but lighter now. You kneel by the suitcase again. The figure is gone. Only a faint dent in the lining. Like sleep, you unzip the other pocket. Inside, a snow globe. You shake it. Snow rises, then stops mid-air. Inside, room 09, yourself, standing at the mirror, breathing in, never out. You place the globe on the dresser. It rocks slightly, as if heartbeats continue within the glass. You sit, let your body still. Let the quiet settle over your shoulders like fog too tired to move. And you whisper, one more breath. The room responds, curtains lifting slightly, mirror fogging again, and on it, yes. You exhale, deep, long, and your reflection flickers, then steadies, eyes closed, face calm, finally letting go. The light in the room dims, not darkness, not absence, just rest. And inside your chest, a single moment of silence opens wide, wide enough to step into, wide enough to sleep inside. You wake to writing on the mirror. It wasn't there when you closed your eyes, but now it breathes across the glass in jagged curves, the kind of writing that only appears when someone uses their fingertip to carve a message into breath, backward. So you'd have to stand in the right place, at the right time, with the right mind to read it. You stand, bare feet on carpet, still damp with upward rain. The suitcase is closed again. The window is shut, but the fog remains, pressed to the glass like it's waiting to be let in. You approach the mirror slowly, careful not to blink, because the message shifts when you do. At first, just symbols, then fragments, then TOHSTNOD. You squint, raise your hand, trace it backward. It reforms, letter by letter. She wrote it in reverse. She always did, to protect you from seeing it too soon, to make sure only the version of you who needed it would understand. Don't show it. You whisper the words, and the lamp sputters once. The drawer beneath it creaks. Inside, another note, folded neatly, paper trembling in your fingers before you unfold it. No handwriting, typed, but faint, like a typewriter trying to remember how ribbon works. She told you not to look when the lights blink. She told you to wait. You didn't. You turn to the light above the mirror. It blinks. Twice. Then again. Then stops. You freeze. Behind you, the curtain lifts. Not from wind. From breath. From movement. But you don't turn around. You remember now. She told you not to. You stare at the mirror. The message changes. New condensation forming around the old, shaping fresh letters like frost guided by will. Turning around is how it began. Your hands tremble. You reach for the radio, but it's already on. A voice whispers, not yours, not hers. A blend, a harmony of people you used to be. This is the version where you read the message. In the others, you missed it. In the others, the mirror broke. You whisper, what does it mean? No answer. Only the bathroom light flickering once, then twice, then off. The mirror glows faintly now, not from light, but from memory, as if the message itself is radioactive with warning. You close your eyes, but behind your lids, the words remain, burned into the fog of your vision. Don't follow the lights. The floor creaks. Weight shifts behind you. You smell something familiar. Her shampoo. The way she used to smell when you fell asleep in the car as a child. Head pressed against her shoulder, drifting between lullaby and static. You want to turn around so badly, it feels like hunger. But you don't. You stare at the mirror. The message fades, leaves one word behind. One word, written forward now. Just for you. Wait! The room listens. The suitcase clicks open behind you. You hear the sound of paper unfolding. Then something smaller. Footsteps, soft, bare. A child? Yourself? You stare forward. The mirror shows nothing now. Only your outline. But thinner, fainter. Like you're not all the way there anymore. The light above flickers again. You whisper, I'm still here. A new word appears, slowly, condensing like breath over sleep. For now. You step back, hands shaking. The curtain falls still. The light steadies. But you know something moved and didn't leave. Something wrote and is waiting for you to forget how to read it. You lie back on the bed, close your eyes. The mirror glows behind your lids, and her voice returns, just once, just close enough. I wrote it in reverse, so you'd read it in time. Then silence, then flicker, then nothing. It's the way the curtain lifts just slightly when you breathe that tells you the loop is conscious now. The air smells like sleep, not rest, not peace. Sleep. The kind that folds over you without permission. The kind that tastes like forgetting. You sit up slowly. Your hand touches the nightstand, and it's already warm, as if it held your palm before you placed it there, as if time here is predictive, as if the room learns. The mirror across the room is dark, covered again, this time by a blanket you don't recognize. Wool, frayed edges, smells like basements and thunder. You stare at it without moving. The silence presses inward, not heavy, just deliberate. The carpet beneath your feet curls at the edges. You flatten it with your toes. You stand. The room sways. Just slightly, like it's been waiting in place too long and needed to stretch. The suitcase is gone. Not missing, removed. You turn to the dresser. The top drawer is half open. Inside, a letter. Envelope yellowed, sealed with wax. You open it. Inside, one sentence typed, uneven. We've been here, haven't we? Your fingers tremble, not from fear, from recognition. You speak the sentence aloud. It sounds different than you expect, heavier, as if the air had to adjust around it. From behind the curtain a shape stirs. You move slowly. Draw the curtain back. Outside, fog. Still, patient, pulsing in rhythm with your breath. Shapes drift in the distance. Not walking, not floating, just being. And among them, you see a motel, same as this one, lit from within. Curtains fluttering. Room 09 blinking in soft red neon. You blink, and it blinks back. You step away from the window. Face the room. The bed is unmade. You don't remember sleeping. You don't remember arriving. But the sheets are tangled around your ankles like you never left. The mirror hums behind its covering. You remove the blanket. Your face stares back. Finally. But wrong. Just slightly. Your reflection is sitting, while you stand. Then it moves. Raises one hand. You don't. The radio crackles. A voice. This version is closer. You're almost the one we remember. You sit. The bed shifts to meet you. You pick up the envelope again. It's sealed once more. Same wax, same weight. You open it, same note, same words. We've been here, haven't we? The repetition lands different now. Not rhetorical, not nostalgic, confirmational. The lamp flickers. The drawer beside you opens. Inside, a snow globe. This time, it holds two figures, sitting across from each other, one face down, one watching. You shake it. The snow moves in slow spirals, and when it settles, the sitting figure is gone. Only the one watching remains. You put the globe back. The drawer closes itself. The radio hums. No voice, just music. A music box version of something you once hummed in the car, half asleep as a child. While she drove, while the rain painted your windows with ghosts, you lie down. The sheets curl in again, gently, with memory, with care. The mirror still shows you, but this time, you're already asleep. Eyes closed, mouth slack, breathing slow. You blink once more before closing your own eyes, and hear her voice again. As soft as ever, as tired as always, as loving as rain. We've been here, haven't we? And you whisper back, yes, always. It begins when you open your eyes and realize you haven't moved, yet the light in the room has. Not changed, not dimmed, not warmed or cooled, moved, as if it detached from the bulb and drifted a few feet to the left. The shadow it once cast is still in place. But the light is gone. You sit up, slowly. The air around your body feels lighter than before, but your chest, heavier, like something pressed into it while you slept and left a shape behind. The curtain is already open. The window fogs as you breathe. The outside is darker than it should be, but you can see them. Headlights, dozens, no cars, just lights, hovering, moving, in slow arcs across the fog outside. Some dart, some meander, Some move in patterns, circles, loops, figure eights, like they've forgotten the purpose of movement and now just perform it. One pair glides inches from your window. You expect to hear sound, tires on gravel, an engine, but there's nothing. Just the quiet flicker of light across your skin. Your shadow doesn't move with you anymore. It waits, behind you, stuck to the wall like a page you forgot to tear out of the story. You rise. The floor creaks in a tone you haven't heard before. Melodic, measured, like footsteps belonging to someone else. The mirror across the room glows faintly now, not from within. From reflection, you approach, but the mirror doesn't show you. It shows the outside, from a high angle, as if you are watching yourself from a distant ceiling, from a height you've never reached. You see the lights, moving, without vehicles, without purpose, without you. A voice behind you murmurs, "They used to follow. Now they lead." You don't turn. You know better now. You speak softly. "Who?" The voice answers with silence. Then the radio buzzes, not static, a single tone, low, drifting, like a lighthouse in sleep. You walk to the window, place your palm against the glass. The fog recoils. Your handprint remains. Inside it, movement, a light, tiny, pulsing, not in rhythm with your breath, but with something older. You tap the window. The light outside stops, hovers, tilts, as if noticing. And for a moment, it remembers you. It moves in your shape, flickers in your outline, then drifts away, back into the swarm. You whisper, "Wait." It doesn't. The lights never wait. They move. And you are still. The suitcase on the floor rattles once. You kneel beside it. Open it slowly. Inside, a flashlight. You lift it. Switch it on. But the beam doesn't shine outward. It pulls inward. Into the bulb. Into the room. Into your chest. The room glows with absence. And then, more lights appear outside. They pulse in formation now. Spell something. You watch from the window as the lights blink their slow message. "Come back out. We remember. You forgot." You don't respond. You sit. The bed creaks. The mattress exhales. You close your eyes. The lights begin to circle around the building, around the room, like moths made of memory. And every time one passes the window, your shadow blinks. Not you, your shadow. Until it starts to move without you. Until it rises from the wall. Until it sits beside you. Back straight, hands on knees, head tilted just like yours, but breathing just a little faster. The lights outside move faster now, urgent, restless. They do not need the road. They do not need your body. They only need motion, witness, rhythm. A path traced and retraced and retraced again. You whisper, "You left me." The radio answers, "No, you stayed." And outside, the lights move on, without you, but not without memory, never without memory. They blink once more, then vanish, and the window reflects only you, still, breathing, waiting. You don't remember turning toward the mirror, but you're already facing it, standing too close. Your breath fogs the glass, then doesn't, then does again, then not yours. The fog pattern is wrong, too tall, too slow, too deliberate. You step back. The mirror remains still. No reflection, only waiting. You reach toward it and stop just before your fingertips make contact. There's something behind the surface. Not movement, not light. Awareness. The kind that doesn't blink. The kind that doesn't sleep. The kind that waits until you're tired enough to stop noticing yourself. You whisper, "I see you." The mirror ripples, gently, like a breath held too long, then exhaled through warm glass. It clears. And then, there you are, sort of. Your shape, but altered, not reversed, not mirrored, shifted. Eyes where they should be, but deeper, darker, as if sleep collected behind them like fog inside a glove box. Your mouth doesn't move, but the reflections does, just barely. You try to match it. It moves first, always first. Your fingers tremble. The reflections don't. They're still, confident, certain, as if you are the ghost. You blink, it doesn't. Then, it smiles. A slow curve, deliberate and without warmth, and you feel something behind your teeth. A tickle, like a whisper curling upward from your stomach. A desire to respond, to agree. The mirror fogs again. Words emerge, not yours, not theirs. Something older. We took turns. Your reflection raises its hand, presses it to the glass, palm to palm, but you never moved. Your hand is still at your side. The glass glows slightly where the reflection touches, then pulses. Once. A second heartbeat. Yours? No, not anymore. You take a step back. The reflection stays where it is. Then, a tap from inside the mirror, like knuckles against a window during a thunderstorm. 3 taps, rhythmic, polite, like a question. You don't answer, but the reflection does. It tilts its head, mouths something. You can't hear it, can't read the lips. The radio turns on behind you, soft static, then a voice. Do you remember the first time you asked the mirror who you were? You do. It wasn't this motel. It was a bathroom, age 9, brushing your teeth. And for a moment, you thought the mirror blinked out of sync. You told no one, not even her. You step closer now, eyes level. The reflection leans in too, only it shouldn't be able to. The glass is flat, still, cold, but the reflection moves forward, nose nearly touching yours. You smell your own breath coming back wrong, like smoke and old dreams. Then, the mirror's surface presses outward, ever so slightly. A bulge, convex. You step back, the surface flattens. It watches, patient, not threatening, not welcoming, just present. The suitcase unzips behind you. You don't turn, but you know. You hear the soft slither of lining being disturbed. Something is stepping out, but your eyes stay forward. The mirror fogs again. 2 words this time. Your turn. You speak without meaning to. I'm not ready. And the mirror smiles again, then goes dark. Your reflection gone. The room reflected now instead. Empty. Still. Your voice whispers through the radio one final time. It doesn't matter who watches first. Only who looks away. The mirror begins to fog once more. You close your eyes. Not to avoid it. To listen better. The sound is breath, yours. Then not. Then both. And all at once. The reflection blinks, still watching, but softer now. Like it understands the rhythm. Like it's waiting for you to fall asleep so it can dream for you. The coffee is cold. You sip anyway. Not because you need it. Because it's there. Because it's ritual. Because the cup appeared on the nightstand again. Without sound. Without placement. Just there. Like always. Like memory. You raise it to your lips, and the taste is not bitterness, not caffeine, not even warmth. It's rain, not water. Rain. That specific tang of pavement hit after a dry spell. That metallic haze you breathe before the sky breaks. It coats your tongue, sits in your throat, and the sound of dripping follows, soft, rhythmic, but not from the ceiling, not from pipes, from the cup. You look inside. It's empty, yet still the dripping continues, one drop after another, and with each one a different sound, a laugh, a sob, a name, your own, spoken in her voice, then forgotten. You set the cup down. It tips slightly, doesn't spill, only hums, a low vibration that trembles through the nightstand and into your fingers. You reach for the drawer, pull it open. Inside, photographs, loose, unlabeled, but you recognize each one. Not the scenes, not the places, but the feelings. That tremor in your jaw before a goodbye. The tightening of your ribs when someone almost said what you needed them to. You flip through them slowly. Each one sticks to the next, slick with condensation. The last one in the stack shows a dinner table. 4 chairs, 3 filled, 1 left open, a plate in front of it, full of rain. You blink. The photo blurs. You wipe your eyes. The blur remains. Drips onto your shirt. The radio hums softly now. A melody. 3 notes. Played once. Then again. Then reversed. You recognize the pattern. It's the same as the drip. Cup. Floor. Hot. Cup. Floor. Hot. You whisper. I didn't leave on purpose. The mirror fogs, even from across the room, responding. You don't get up. You stay on the bed. The mattress feels like an old coat now, holding you, weighing you down with every thread that remembers something you don't. The light flickers. Not overhead, not from the lamp, from the photograph. The image of the dinner table pulses once, then changes. Same table, no chairs, just the plate, still full, still raining. You reach out to touch it. Your fingertip soaks instantly. You smell moss and electricity. Thunderstorms caught in jars. And behind it all, her voice again, barely audible. You said you'd be back before the rain. You close your eyes, breathe deep. The air in your lungs tastes the same as the coffee. And you understand now, the flavor. It's not rainwater, it's return. You're drinking, the moment you stepped away. You're sipping the breath you took before forgetting. You're swallowing the part of you that lingered in the motel, hoping your future self would make it back in time to remember. The radio stops humming, then crackles. A voice. Taste is the last sense to forget, and you remember everything you never meant to swallow. The coffee cup hums again. You lift it. This time it's full, but not with liquid, with light, dim, golden, like sunset through closed eyelids. You raise it to your mouth. It pours into you like memory disguised as warmth, and you feel not full, not awake, not comforted, just present. As if you've stepped into the exact center of the loop and stood still long enough to feel the walls breathing. You set the cup down again. A single drop escapes, hits the floor, drips upward. You watch it rise, twist, fade, and you whisper, "Everything tastes like rain because that's when I left." The mirror flickers. A single word appears. Yes. And then the curtain lifts, just slightly, and the smell of wet leaves and motel soap wraps itself around you like a voice you forgot was yours. It doesn't shatter, doesn't scream. The loop doesn't end with an explosion, or a door slamming, or headlights vanishing into fog. It breaks softly, like fabric stretched too long finally relaxing, like static fading mid-sentence. You wake to quiet, real quiet, not silence, absence. The kind of quiet that only exists when something important is missing and no one has admitted it yet. The bed beneath you is warm, but the mattress doesn't sigh when you rise. The sheets don't cling, they release, like they've been waiting for this moment longer than you have. You stand. Your shadow no longer mirrors you. It remains curled on the bed, breathing slowly, refusing to follow. You don't call it, you let it rest. The window is open. The fog outside has cleared. Not vanished, cleared. Like breath held too long finally exhaled. You step toward it, and a notice. The room behind you doesn't reflect in the glass. Only the road ahead. Faint, still. Cracked with golden veins of light that pulse like veins. Across an old map, you whisper, "I remember." The window responds with a breeze that smells like the first time you realized what it meant to leave. The radio doesn't hum, doesn't crackle. It plays one final sound. A door creaking open. Footsteps across linoleum. A child's voice asking, "Can I come in now?" You don't answer. You already have. You reach for the suitcase. It's light now. You lift it, set it on the bed, unzip it. Inside, nothing. Nothing heavy, nothing dark, just folded fabric that smells of motel air and rain that fell the wrong way. And beneath it, a single object, a snow globe. But this time, it's empty. No room inside, no figure, no snow, just glass and water. You shake it anyway. It glows, softly. A swirl of warmth spins inside it. Not visual, not physical, just familiar. You place it in your coat pocket. It fits like it always belonged there. You take one last look at the mirror, now covered again, blanket wrapped tight. You walk past it, let it sleep. The hallway outside room 09 is shorter now. Just 3 doors, none marked, all closed. You keep walking. Your footsteps don't echo, they absorb. The carpet no longer shifts patterns. It's settled, and the walls no longer whisper names you've forgotten. They hum, gently, like the memory of music your grandmother used to hum when she thought you were asleep in the back seat. You reach the lobby. The receptionist is gone. Only the guest book remains. Open. Pen beside it. You approach. Write your name. Not hurried. Not hidden. Then the date. Then the time. 3:33 a.m. The page ripples slightly, like the paper exhaled, then stills. You turn to leave. The door opens before you touch it, and beyond it, the road, still, long, but new. No fog, no flickering lights, no signs that contradict themselves, just pavement, stretching into a sky that feels neither heavy nor light, just available. You step outside. The door closes behind you. No click, no lock, no final sound. Just goodbye, folded into stillness. You walk. No car, no engine, no headlights needed. The wind presses gently at your back, like a parent who knows when to let go. You don't look behind you. You don't need to, because you feel it. The loop has broken, softly, and for the first time in too long. You are not part of it anymore. The gravel ends before the sky begins, and you keep walking. The world no longer curves beneath your feet. It lies still, flat, kind. You don't remember when the fog lifted completely. You just know that your breath no longer returns to you in clouds. No more static, no more reversed rain, no more blinking lights whispering your name from forgotten vehicles. Only the hush of twilight folding over itself like linen on a motel bed you never got to ruin. You sit right there where the road used to be, not because you're tired, but because the silence has a shape now, and it fits. The snow globe in your pocket warms softly. You take it out, hold it to your ear. No music, no spinning, just the gentle slosh of stillness inside. And maybe, just maybe, something breathing. But not you, not anymore. You place it on the grass beside you. It doesn't sink. It stays, like it belongs here. The suitcase? Gone. You don't remember putting it down, but you know it found its place. Somewhere on the loop's edge. You look up. There's no moon, no stars, just a ceiling of blue-black velvet stitched with silence. And then her voice, not behind you, not beside you, inside you. There's nothing to follow anymore, not even the quiet. You lie back, let the ground press into your spine. No throb, no echo, just presence. You breathe. Slow, final, and as your eyes drift closed, the last thing you see is a road, folding itself away behind you. One line at a time, until even the gravel forgets it ever carried weight. No footsteps now, no engine hum, only the sound of your own sleep, unspooling without edges, unfolding without time, untouched by loops. And somewhere beneath all this, the static stops trying to speak. You drift, no longer held by story or shape or voice. Only sleep remains, and silence, waiting. There's no road anymore, no motel, no mirror, no voice. Only drift, only the hush of wheels that no longer touch anything, moving through a silence too wide to echo. You're floating, but downward, not falling, not fast, just gently, the way a thought slips beneath a dream before either of them can decide who imagined who. The last image you remember, the suitcase, open now, and empty. Not abandoned, not stolen, released. The loop has stopped turning, not broken, just paused. For you, for now. Somewhere above, you think you hear the sound of rain, but you're not sure which way it's falling. You don't need to be. The hum of the engine fades, the tape clicks, the door to room 09 drifts shut behind you, and for the first time, it doesn't open again. Because you're not leaving, and you're not arriving. You're drifting, no longer held by story, or shape, or voice. Only sleep remains, and silence waiting. End of script. Sweet dreams.